Chapter 33:28. Hehe. Woman, it's not against the law to brag, right? You don't want to kill people? You make it sound like you've killed people. One of the boys chuckled. Lu Yen. It seemed that these kids didn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. How dare they talk to Lu Yen like this? Those who said that Lu Yen hadn't killed anyone should have asked Sister Yen which day she hadn't killed anyone. Since she was a little girl, she had been hunted down, counterattacked, and made bombs. Now she was in her early 20s. She couldn't even remember the number of people she had killed. You kids look so young. Don't you know that robbery is against the law? And lectured them righteously. Maybe it was because he was a special forces soldier like Suyu, so he was righteous when he was angry. We know. But we're not 18 yet. They won't do anything to us. Do you know a place called the Juvenile Detention Center? And continued to reason with them. Of course I know. The director of the Juvenile Detention Center is my third uncle. So, cut the crap. Hurry up and leave the prize money. The young man who was leading the group was getting impatient. It seems that this isn't the first time these kids have committed crimes. It's useless to lecture them. I think we should help their parents teach them a lesson, Lu Yen said. Take the money and hide in the corner. Leave this to me. Then, and handed the bag of cash to Lu Yen and was ready to fight. Lu Yen wasn't in a hurry. She took the bag and stepped back as and said, Don't let the girl run away. She has the money. The leading boy yelled. Instantly, a group of people swarmed up. Xiaowen's eyes and hands were quick, and he quickly started fighting. He grabbed one of them and punched him. Then he kicked and hit him. However, there were a lot of kids in this group, so it was inevitable that some of them would escape. One of the guys who had been kicked away by and got up and ran toward Lu Yen. This was because he felt that women were a vulnerable group. He would be able to get the money in one go. Run! Don't just stand there like an idiot, and yelled at Lu Yen anxiously. However, Lu Yen didn't run with the bag of cash in one hand. Instead, she walked toward the boy. The young man reached out to grab Lu Yen's purse. But before he could touch her, Lu Yen kicked his kneecap. Ah! The young man fell to the ground, his hands clutching his knees as he screamed in agony. Yes, Lu Yen had always been fast and ruthless. She never wasted time. He had already used 50% of his strength, and the kid's kneecap was instantly shattered. Of course, he was in so much pain that he wished he were dead. Seeing their comrade fall to the ground, the others were even more furious. They rushed forward with machetes and axes. Unfortunately, and was faster and took care of them before they could reach Lu Yen. Xiaowen pressed down on the head of the young man who was leading the group. Kid, you're so young yet you don't learn the right things. How did your parents teach you? My parents are officials and my family is the leader of the prison. You dare to offend this young master? You won't have a high fruit to eat. I will remember you. Not only did the young man not have any regret, he even said the words of revenge, which was really hateful. Oh, you don't know how to repent. How can you say such things? The atmosphere nowadays is really... Before and could finish, Lu Yen walked over before and could react. Before he could react, she grabbed the leading young man's hand and pulled it back, breaking it with a crack. Ah! The young man screamed again. He was in so much pain that tears came out of his eyes. You want to take revenge on us? Okay, welcome. But before that, I have a gift for you. You have to accept it. Then, she dragged the young man out of Anne's hand, grabbed his head, and slammed him against the wall in front of everyone. With a thud, the foppish young man fell to the ground and fainted on the spot. Anne's expression changed slightly, and everyone else was shocked. Chapter 33:29. Big Brother Ming. A few teenagers called out to the young man. It seemed that he was indeed a core member of the gang. From his words, it seemed that his family had some power. It had something to do with the prison. Otherwise, they wouldn't have dared to rob the underground garage. They were too bold to do it in broad daylight. The other customers who came to pick up their cars didn't dare to walk in. Why are you still standing there? Let's go. Then, Lu Yen walked to the car with the money bag on her back, and hurried to follow her. The other teenagers didn't dare to follow them. They helped the unconscious leader up and took him to the hospital. Looking at the Audi license plate in the distance, the teenagers memorized it and planned to take revenge. But would they really take revenge? The answer was no. When the children sent the leader to the hospital, the doctor diagnosed that his right hand and right arm were broken. He was a first-degree disability and would never recover. Furthermore, he had a severe concussion. The child's parents wanted nothing more than to kill each other. But when the teenagers told them the license plate number and they checked it, they immediately calmed down. The license plate number of the Audi A8L was Su Yu's grandfather's car in the military. The old man had given it to Su Yu on his 25th birthday. The Su family was the pinnacle of power in this city, not to mention a small prison warden like them. Even the mayor of Sea City had to be careful of them. So, that family could only admit that they were unlucky to rob the Su family. After getting into the car, Anne's expression didn't look good. Lu Yan's attack had irritated him greatly. He wasn't surprised by Lu Yan's skills. Instead, he felt that Lu Yan's attack was too vicious and fatal. The two attacks must have caused permanent damage to the kid. There was no doubt about it. After 5 minutes of silence in the car, Anne finally couldn't stand it anymore. I think they were wrong, but they didn't have to be so vicious, Anne said. Are you talking about me? Lu Yan looked up and asked him. Am I talking about myself? And was a bit displeased. Oh, either you don't attack or you do it to the extreme. This has been my style for many years. I can't change it, Lu Yan said calmly. But he's still a child. Xiaoan had always been conflicted about the fact that the other party was underage. So it's not against the law for children to kill people, and children can do whatever they want? So much so that the fact that they were underage had become a golden ticket to avoid death. The laws in the country itself are biased. I didn't expect a man like you to have the heart of a saint. I'm not a saint. I just feel that you were too heavy-handed. If I hadn't hit him so hard, do you think he would have turned over a new leaf and stopped harming others? That's enough. Put away your tricks. I've gotten rid of a scourge for the people. This child is already 16 or 17 years old. He's already so old, yet his thoughts are so evil. If I let him out, he'll only harm others. I'm already very merciful for not killing him. Kill him? Isn't it illegal for you to kill people overseas? Xiaoan felt that this girl looked beautiful and gentle, but the words she spoke were filled with the smell of blood. What does that have to do with you? Did my sister and Su Yu send you here to investigate me? Lu Yan asked coldly. Chapter 33:30. No, that's not what I meant. Okay, that's the end of the topic. No matter what you say, what's done is done. Lu Yan's face was cold. Okay, and nodded helplessly and didn't dare to say more. Lu Yan understood and he didn't know what she did for a living, so it was normal for him to feel pity for her. But Lu Yan didn't think she did anything wrong. The people she met today were underage and weren't 18 yet. So Lu Yan didn't kill them. She only broke their arms and gave them a concussion to teach them a lesson. If it was an adult who did this, Lu Yan would make sure that the person would disappear without leaving a trace. And said she didn't hit them too hard because he didn't know Lu Yan well. Or rather, he misunderstood Lu Yan because of his one-sided understanding of her. He thought Dr. Hua's sister, who came back from abroad, must be a beautiful, gentle, and kind young lady. But she wasn't. Among these qualities, Lu Yan only had beauty. As for the others, perhaps anyone would be shocked if they knew her identity. After they left the arcade, they went to a nearby shopping mall. Lu Yan found the big brands in the mall were all old models. Few of them were the latest models. It seemed the domestic goods circulation needed to be improved. She looked around and found nothing to buy. In the end, she only bought a designer bag for Huamin, which cost her more than 200,000 yuan. Then she bought the twins some diamond-studded trinkets and some dresses for girls. In less than 2 hours, she spent more than 300,000 yuan. Her speed of spending money was unparalleled, and was about to say that Su Yu had given him 100,000 yuan in the morning for Lu Yan's use. But when he heard the bag cost more than 200,000 yuan, he was too embarrassed to say it, and thought the girl might be from a super-rich family. After all, she had a strong aura. But the strange thing was that Lu Yen never wore designer clothes. Her clothes didn't have any labels. At a glance, she was a very down-to-earth girl. But it also proved the saying that if you were good-looking, you would look good in anything. After paying the bill, and tactfully helped Lu Yen carry the bags. When they were about to leave the mall, they passed by Armani. Lu Yen grabbed 2 belts and packed them. Then, he handed it to An, one for you and one for Suyu. No, I can't accept your gift. Xiaoan waved his hand and refused. Take it. It's hard to play with me. Although Suyu didn't come, it was still under his instructions, so don't refuse. No, I really can't, and had never seen anything like this before. If you don't like it, you can just throw it in the trash can. It's my business whether I buy it or not. It's your business whether you accept it or not. Yes, this was Lu Yan's domineering personality. She didn't care if he wanted her or not, but she, Lu Yan, would do it. Since they all knew that Su Yu was his sister's friend, some etiquette was still necessary. In the end, Xiaoan could only accept it. How could he bear to throw it into the trash can? 1 belt, the latest model, was worth about 4,000 RMB. 2 belts were almost 10,000 RMB. After shopping, Lu Yen got into the car and leaned against the back seat. I'm a little hungry. Let's find a place to eat, she said. Okay, what do you want to eat? I'll arrange it. Anything. And was in a dilemma. If she said anything, it would be wrong of him to order anything. Can you tell me what you like to eat? And forced himself to ask. Chapter 33-31. I like spicy hot pot, crossbridge rice noodles, and casserole noodles. You decide. And President Su asked me to take you to eat something good. He even transferred 100,000 yuan to me this morning. I can't treat you to a roadside stall. So what if it's a roadside stall? As long as it's delicious, I don't care if it's cheap or expensive. But will President Su and Dr. Hu blame me? No. Their goal is for you to have fun with me. I'll be happy when I eat something I like. Okay. And felt more and more that Dr. Hu's sister was a weirdo. He also complained about President Su in his heart. Why didn't his boss come? An invisible person like him really didn't feel safe. Then I'll call President Su and ask for his opinion, okay? Why? It's not Su Yu who wants to eat. It's me. Lu Yen was surprised. Then I'd better call him. With that, and dialed Su Yu's number. Su Yu, speak. And, President Su, are you done? Su Yu, no. What's wrong? And, nothing. It's noon. I'm going to take Dr. Hu's sister to eat. And then, Su Yu, not enough? Then I'll transfer 200,000 yuan to you now. And no. It's enough. We haven't spent anything. Our VIP wants to eat spicy hot pot and rice noodles. Su Yu, then you can go eat. And didn't expect Su Yu to be so calm. He was about to break down. But, Su Yu, I'm not done here. You can go eat. Okay, that's all. Then Su Yu hung up the phone. He couldn't leave Su Yu's side, so he was relieved to leave it to An originally. Su Yu thought that he didn't have enough money. Once he heard that it wasn't about money, he immediately hung up the phone and continued to work. See? I told you not to, but you didn't listen. Lu Yen chuckled. Then do you really want to eat malatang? I feel that since you've come all the way back from abroad, I should bring you to eat something good. What's good? Seafood? Abalone, lobster, king crab? Lu Yen asked. Yeah, Dr. Hu loves seafood. Do you want some? No, absolutely not. Lu Yen waved her hand. She was sick of seafood and wanted to throw up. If that's the case, I'll take you to eat clay pot noodles. In the end, Xiaoan decided to cater to his taste. Okay, lead the way. Lu Yen leaned against the back seat and closed her eyes to rest. The car made several turns and arrived at a small alley. The shop was not big and was called Auntie Wang's Casserole Lotus Leaf Noodles. However, there were many people waiting in line. As soon as they got out of the car, they saw at least 30 people waiting in line. So many people. How long do we have to wait? Lu Yen was dumbfounded. I'll cut the line. Xiaoan was about to walk up. However, Xiaoan pulled him back. Don't. It's not good to cut the line. Lu Yen smiled. Then, and was still wondering if there was a better way. At this moment, Lu Yen took out 10,000 yuan from the 80,000 yuan she had won in the lottery. She opened the white note tied to the cash and shouted, "Free money. Come and grab it." Then, she threw 10,000 yuan into the air behind her. Instantly, the people in line ran over and squatted on the ground to pick up the money, and was already dumbfounded by what he saw. Lu Yen calmly walked to the cashier and said, "Sir, 2 bowls of clay pot noodles, spicy and numbing, thank you." Seeing this, the shop owner was also dumbfounded. Chapter 33-32. Okay. How much is it? 24 yuan in total, the owner said. 2 bottles of iced soda, please. 28 yuan in total. The soda is 2 yuan per bottle. Here you are. Keep the change. Lu Yen put down 100 yuan and walked into the restaurant. Then and came back to his senses and ran in. How can I let you spend money? Take it back. It's not much. Don't fight over it. It's embarrassing, Lu Yen said. Okay. And found this girl was indeed Dr. Hua's younger sister. She had a high EQ and no one could refute her words. At this moment a couple walked in. The woman looked jealous. She glanced at Lu Yen sourly and said to her boyfriend in a loud voice, "Some people like to show off and give money to others. Give me 100,000 yuan again if you dare." Lu Yen glanced at her calmly. You have to have something to show off. You can't show off even if you want to. I'm happy that I gave you 10,000 yuan. You can do it too. Come on, show me 10,000 yuan. Why should I? The woman retorted immediately. You can't afford it? Then shut up. Woman, how can you talk like that? Who are you talking to? Embarrassed, the woman was about to charge at Lu Yen. On the other hand, the man had a temper and quickly stopped her. No. Let's go. We'll come back to eat when we have time. Why should we go? The woman was still unconvinced but was pulled away by her boyfriend. Lu Yen thought this bitch had a good boyfriend. Otherwise, if she really came to mess with her, she wouldn't be able to go back in one piece. She would probably have to lie in bed for the rest of her life. Are you okay? And looked at Lu Yen in fear. He was afraid she would fight with the woman. I'm fine. Good. I was afraid you would fight with her. And said, Fight? Are you kidding me? For so many years, I was the one who beat people up, Lu Yen said with a straight face. Haha. Okay. You're the best. You think I'm bragging? Lu Yen looked at and no, I definitely didn't mean that. However, even though Xiaoan didn't say anything, he already had a judgment in his heart. He felt that this girl was a perfect match for President Su just based on her ability to burn money. In the past, they always said that President Su could burn money like it was blown by the wind. Now that they looked at it, President Su was so frugal compared to this girl. Throwing money at the slightest disagreement, Xiaoan felt that it was simply too overbearing for words. Lu Yen ate happily with 2 simple bowls of earthenware noodles and 2 bottles of iced soda. There wasn't even an air conditioner in this small shop, only a fan. It was so hot that everyone was sweating profusely. However, there were still many people waiting in line. The taste was indeed special. But with Lu Yan's appetite, she wouldn't overeat and was full with just 1 bowl of it. By the time they were done eating and drinking, it was already afternoon. You can go home directly later. What about you? I want to go back too. Then I'll drive you. No need. I'm going out to buy some daily necessities. It's all female underwear. If it's inconvenient, you don't have to follow me. Okay. And looked embarrassed. Thank you for today. You're welcome. It's my job. If you need me, call me anytime. And gave Lu Yen his number sincerely. Okay. Then we'll part here. Bye. Lu Yen waved her hand and drove away in his Audi. Then our adorable little Yen directly hailed a taxi. Where are you going, miss? The taxi driver asked enthusiastically. The biggest nightclub here. Chapter 33-33. Then it's the Shengshi Pearl. Is it the biggest one? Lu Yen didn't know much about the local market, so she had to ask. Yeah. This nightclub opened last month and is packed with people. Girls don't have to pay a ticket. Guys have to pay at least 10,000 yuan per person. Really? Lu Yen was surprised. Isn't that so? That's why I said that the owner of this shop is obviously up to no good. Isn't this clearly letting the rich second generation play with the little girl? Miss, listen to me, you can't go. You're so pretty, you'll definitely get into trouble if you go. The uncle tried to persuade her. Uncle, I'll tell you the truth. I'm going there to flirt with rich kids. The middle-aged man. Fine. Pretend I didn't say anything. I hope you get what you want. The middle-aged man seemed angry, thinking Lu Yen was a materialistic girl. However, the middle-aged man still nagged. I'm not being nosy. Look at you. You're so pretty and don't wear heavy makeup or revealing clothes. Why don't you go to a nightclub like that? Isn't it good to find a boyfriend? You don't have to be rich to be happy. You know, if a man has bad character and doesn't know how to appreciate love, he'll be the richest man in the world. The middle-aged man spoke from the bottom of his heart. Uncle, you're right. Lu Yen was in a good mood. It wasn't easy to get rid of him, so she had to go out and have fun. Of course, she also wanted to take revenge on Psycho Chow. He was far away in Russia with that little bitch Amy. Just thinking about it made her feel bad. So, even though the middle-aged man in the taxi tried to persuade her, Lu Yen still wanted to go to this newly opened nightclub for rich people. Finally, the middle-aged man had no choice but to park the car in front of the Shengshi Pearl. It was a 15-story building, and the decoration was indeed very grand. It wasn't the usual luxurious decorations. Instead, it used many elements. The owner had good taste. When Lu Yen entered, the security guard didn't stop her because the entrance was free for girls. Miss, are you here to have fun or to look for someone? I'm here to have fun, Lu Yen said. Are you alone? Yeah. Lu Yen nodded. If you're alone, I don't recommend a private room. Why don't you sit in the small square? It's crowded there. All right. Lu Yen followed the waiter all the way to the small square. Although it was only 3 p.m., it was already bustling with feasting and revelry. Many people were drinking and dancing inside. There were both men and women. Maybe it was because Lu Yen didn't wear branded clothes and didn't have much spending power. Therefore, the waiter brought her to a secluded corner. Then, he threw the wine menu away and the waiter went to work. Lu Yen flipped through the wine list slowly. Not far away, a sharp-eyed member of the group pointed in their direction. I found a prey. Look, young Master Long. The man called young Master Long followed her gaze. Although he couldn't see her entire face, her side profile was very beautiful. Lu Yen was definitely a breath of fresh air in this place. Her long hair flowed in the wind and she was dressed like a pretty girl from a humble family. She wore a simple white short-sleeved shirt, jeans and white sneakers, with a female university student. This suited the tastes of the rich second-generation heirs. Go, ask her to come over and have a drink with me. The man called young Master Long said. Okay. The lackey immediately ran over to Lu Yen. Beauty, young Master Long invites you to have a drink with him. Chapter 33-34. Young Master Long? Lu Yen frowned slightly since she had never heard of this person. You're lucky that our young Master Long likes you. He's always generous to the girls he likes. He thought the girls who came to the nightclub were all materialistic girls who came for money. Oh, I see. Then what do I get for drinking with him? Lu Yen asked seriously. A lot. As long as you make our young Master Long happy, you can have anything you want. Yeah. Then I want a 747 radio. Haha. Beauty, you're funny. I'm serious. Ask your young Master Long if he can afford it. It's very expensive for me to drink with him. Lu Yen smiled mysteriously. At this moment, the customers at other tables asked the waiters to bring drinks to Lu Yen. Although the lights were dim, they could still see clearly. With Lu Yen's looks, she was definitely the most beautiful woman in the world. Many men were like flies that couldn't wait to stare at her. In fact, Lu Yen didn't want to get into trouble, because she knew Xiao Fei would be worried and send someone to watch her. So, she did it on purpose to make him jealous. She didn't expect to get so many surprises. Beauty, this is from the guest at table 7. The waiter put down a cocktail. Beauty, this is from Mr. Song at table 16. The waiter put down a bouquet of roses. This is from the guest at table 33. He said you can order whatever you want and he'll pay for it. Lu Yen sat in an inconspicuous corner, but the waiter was so tired that he almost broke his leg. She sat there for less than 10 minutes and was discovered. Then people kept sending her flowers and drinks, and some even wanted to pay for her. Lu Yen didn't know whether to laugh or cry at their boldness. In a place like a bar, it was normal for men to want to woo a beautiful woman when they saw one. However, if some people were to use forceful means, then it would be a different story. Hearing Lu Yan's words, young Master Long's subordinate immediately went back to discuss it with his boss. What do you think? Young Master Long, that girl is very arrogant. She didn't want to come. And she said, what did she say? The man called young Master Long was holding a Chunghwa cigarette in his hand. His arm was covered in tattoos and his face was fierce. She said that it's very expensive for her to accompany you. Ha ha ha, what a joke. Expensive? Would I be afraid of the price? Go and tell her that 1 glass of wine is 10,000 yuan. All right. After the lackey heard his master's order, he immediately ran to the side of the road again. Out of breath, he said, Beauty, our young Master Long said that a glass of wine is 10,000 yuan. 10,000? Get out of my way. Lu Yen waved her hand and shooed him away. The table was still receiving gifts endlessly, and it was going to be full soon. Some of the female customers in the bar also began to feel jealous. Who is that woman? She's so disgusting. She looks like a green tea bitch. Yeah, look at her chest. It's 32A at most. What's there to be proud of? That's right. She looks like a vixen, yet she sends so many flowers. Everyone must be blind. I've never seen this little girl before. Where does she come from? She doesn't look like she's from our circle. Is she a small-time actress? Both men and women began to be interested in Lu Yan's identity. No one knew who this mysterious woman was. She looked young and wore very simple clothes, but she had a stunning and beautiful face. Young Master Long, that girl said 10,000 yuan is too little. She asked if you were a beggar. Young Master Long's face darkened. Chapter 33-35. Young Master Long, do you want us to kidnap her for you? A bootlicking bodyguard immediately asked. No need. I don't like to force beautiful women. You guys don't know how to be gentle with women. I've been in the nightclub for years and have never seen such a beautiful and cute girl. Those socialites and heiresses can't even compare to 1/10,000th of her. I'm gonna sleep with her today. Then, I'll go and ask her if she's willing to pay 20,000 yuan. You fucking come back. Young Master Long immediately stopped the lackey. Yes, young Master Long. Go and tell her 1 glass of wine will cost 100,000 yuan. What? 100,000 yuan? His lackey was dumbfounded. They were in the north and the custom there was to drink when you could. Many girls had been drinking with their elders since they were young and had a high tolerance for alcohol. If 1 glass of wine cost 100,000 yuan, if this girl could drink 3 glasses in a row, she would earn 300,000 yuan per second. Besides, although his young master had some money, he had never been so generous. It seemed he was really tempted. What are you waiting for? Go and fucking do it. Young Master Long kicked the lackey's butt. Yes, yes, yes. Young Master Long, I'll go right away. The lackey came up to Lu Yen again. Maybe because he was too anxious, he stumbled and fell to the ground. His face was right under Lu Yan's feet. Beauty, our young Master Long said that a glass of wine is 100,000 yuan. The man gestured with 2 fingers and made a 10 sign. 100,000 yuan? Your young master only has so little money and you want to pick up girls? Go home and put on your open crotch pants. Stop fooling around. When the lackey came back, young Master Long's eyes were fixed on Lu Yen, like a wolf staring at a sheep. His eyes glowed with a strange light. Boss, this woman is very arrogant. She humiliated you. What did she say? She said, don't fucking stammer. Speak. Young Master Long slapped his lackey's face. She said you only have so little money and you want to pick up girls? Go home and put on your open crotch pants. Young Master Long did not get angry after hearing that. Instead, he laughed out loud. Haha, I like this girl. She has such a personality. I must conquer her in bed. The man called Young Master Long made a bold statement. I'm going all out today. Go and tell her that I'll pay $1 million for a glass of wine. Young Master Long, it's not worth it, all for a woman. His subordinates began to persuade him. What do you know? I'm happy, and I have money. The one called Brother Long seemed to be competing as well. He asked his underlings to raise the price to a sky-high level. Beauty, our young Master Long said that he'll pay $1 million for a glass of wine. Really? You're finally willing to spend your hard-earned money. How about this, you tell him to prepare $5 million in cash and leave it here. I'll go and drink it now. What do you mean? You don't trust our young master? Are you from the village? Don't you know that our young Master Long is the young master of the Longxing Group? Our chairman only has one son, and all the family business belongs to him. Do you know that our young master built a very popular real estate project, Longxiang Jiayuan? The project is over 100 million yuan. Wow, it's over 100 million yuan. That's a lot of money. I've never seen so much money in my life. Your young master is fucking awesome. Lu Yen laughed exaggeratedly. So don't be so ungrateful. Hurry up and leave. Our young master is waiting for you. The lackey urged Lu Yen. Chapter 33-36. Sure, I'll go and meet your very, very rich young Master Long. Lu Yen was in a good mood, so she stood up and followed the lackey. Lu Yan's movement immediately attracted everyone's attention, so they all looked at young Master Long. Beauty, good evening. Seeing Lu Yen walk up to him, young Master Long stammered nervously. Are you an idiot? Lu Yen chuckled. No. Seeing Lu Yen smile, the guy was even more infatuated. Oh, so you're stuttering? No, I'm not stuttering. I'm not usually like this. I'm just nervous. You're only like this when you're nervous. His lackey couldn't stand it and spoke for him. Get lost. Who told you to answer my question? Young Master Long was still not satisfied and slapped the person behind him. What's your name? Lu Yen continued to ask with a smile. My name is Tao Chenglong. Wow, for words. So cool, Lu Yen said on purpose. Not for 4 words. This Tao Chenglong. 4 words. Lu Yen couldn't help but laugh. Young Master Long, let me say it for you. Our boss's real name is Tao Chenglong. The lackey couldn't help but interrupt. Seeing his young master stutter nervously at the sight of a woman, he was anxious. Oh, Mr. Tao, I heard you want to invite me to drink with you? Sitting across from him, Lu Yen played with her delicate fingernails. I just want to get to know you and make friends. Young Master Long stammered. Oh, I see. That's easy. I heard you just offered 1 million yuan for a glass of wine. Yeah. This time, the guy learned his lesson. To avoid stuttering and being laughed at by the onlookers, he spoke less and only 1 word. Then you should prepare the money first. I don't lack money. Don't worry. Young Master Long patted his chest and promised. But it's our first time meeting. I don't believe you have millions of yuan in cash. I can transfer. WeChat scanning is also fine. The kid stuttered as he spoke, making the people around him feel uncomfortable. Lu Yen couldn't stop laughing. She was used to fighting and killing in foreign countries. She didn't expect being an ordinary person would be so fun. Since you're so straightforward, that's fine too. With so many people watching, I believe you won't go back on your word. But since we're drinking together, then you'll drink with me, right? Of course. Young Master Ryong thought he was a good drinker, so when he heard that Lu Yen wanted to drink with him, he was immediately smug. Good. Let's go to the bar. Lu Yen waved her hand. At this moment, the waiter started serving the beer. Hey, wait, beer is too boring. It's for kids. Lu Yen stopped the waiter. Everyone was slightly stunned. Then, what do you want to drink? Cocktail or fruit wine? The man called young Master Long asked. Since we're in China, I'll do as the Romans do. How about ergotu? Baiju? Hearing Lu Yen mention ergotu, the guy froze. Yeah. Lu Yen nodded. Ha 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 ha. Our young master is a good drinker. Woman, you're digging your own grave. Young Master Long's subordinates laughed behind him. If you drink too much, you have to come with me tonight. Finally, the guy spoke his mind. Chapter 33-37. Okay. If I get drunk, I'll go with you. But if you lose, remember to transfer the money to me. Don't worry. My card has 10 million yuan in it. There were too many onlookers, so the guy flaunted his wealth. With a bang, he took out a black gold card from his bag and placed it on the table. Young master, the chairman asked you to give this to the construction company. Shut up. It's none of your business. The guy named young Master Long didn't want his subordinate to say it out loud, fearing he would lose face. Lu Yen smiled calmly and took out something that looked like chewing gum from her bag and began to chew it. At this moment, the waiter began to serve the sorghum liquor. At first, he only took out 2 bottles. Since it was a small bottle, each bottle could only fill 2 glasses. Lu Yen glanced at the waiter. Bring out more bottles. Okay. The waiter nodded and turned to get more wine. The onlookers began to talk among themselves. The spendthrift of Longxing Group is out to burn money again. Yeah, I heard this guy is stupid but rich. He likes to play with women, but he's also very generous. Didn't his dad stop him from spending so much money? Last month, I heard he rewarded an online streamer with more than 1 million yuan in an hour. When he was about to have sex with her, he found out she was a man. Ha 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 ha. That's right. This brat really doesn't give up on his evil intentions. That girl is also too pretty. Why would she drink with him? If she gets drunk later, I'm sure she'll be taken away and taken advantage of. Maybe the girl wants to. After all, that guy is so ugly. Many women throw themselves at him every day. This world is really degenerating with each passing day. The rich are the masters. Lu Yen wasn't angry at their discussion. Instead, she smiled faintly. After chewing the gum, Lu Yen stood up and opened the bottle of liquor with her bare hands. Her actions shocked the onlookers. Then Lu Yen filled many glasses with wine at a very fast speed. Finally, she tossed the bottle to the ground and glanced at the waiter. Set up the bar. 10 glasses for him and 10 glasses for me. What? 10 glasses? The waiter was dumbfounded. The onlookers were even more shocked. Will 10 cups of ergotu kill me? Even white wine shouldn't be drunk like this, right? What is it, Mr. Tao? Is there a problem? Lu Yen shrugged with a smile. No problem. The guy knew Lu Yen couldn't drink that much and was just trying to scare him. As soon as the waiter heard that there was no problem, he immediately filled the table with wine for both parties. Let's begin, Lu Yen said. You drink first. If you drink 1 cup, I'll drink 1 cup. The guy wasn't stupid enough to force Lu Yen to drink first. Lu Yen knew what he was thinking. Sure. Then Lu Yen stood up, picked up the first glass, and started drinking. Then he downed 5 glasses in a row at a speed of 2 seconds per glass. After finishing the 5th cup, Lu Yen took a deep breath. Phew, I'm tired. Take a break. It's your turn. The kid was a little scared. After drinking for so many years, he had never seen someone drink like this. Faster than a drink. Okay? Young Master Long, is she a master? One of his subordinates reminded him. I'm not afraid of a master. For the sake of his dignity, the kid had to drink. So he started drinking in front of everyone. But it was too much for him to drink continuously. Besides, the liquor was very spicy. He felt like his throat was going to smoke. After the 3rd cup, the guy named young Master Long couldn't take it anymore. But he forced himself to drink. Finally, when he swallowed the 5th cup, Tears came out of his eyes. The taste was extremely sour. I finished it. He shook the wine glass and showed off. Chapter 33-38. The moment he said that, Lu Yen stood up and downed 5 more glasses of wine in front of everyone. The whole process took less than 15 seconds. Everyone was dumbfounded again. Mr. Tao, it's your turn. Lu Yen smiled cutely. Ugh! The guy called Young Master Ryong almost spat out the wine in his mouth. Young Master Ryong, are you okay? Young Master. His subordinates hurried up to help him up. Don't move. I'm fine. Young Master Ryong was so proud that he didn't let his subordinates help him, thinking it was too embarrassing to lose to a woman like this. I'll drink it myself. Then he picked up his glass and downed it again. But when he drank the 8th glass, he couldn't take it anymore and spat it out. Fortunately, he didn't eat anything and only spat out the wine. It's okay. Can you give me the money? I drank 10 glasses of wine and it's exactly 10 million yuan. No discount. Thank you. Lu Yen drank 10 glasses of wine, but nothing happened to her. The people around her were dumbfounded. Did the woman cheat? No way. I saw her drink it with my own eyes and not a drop spilled. Could it be that she was drinking water and not alcohol? No way. She poured the wine glass by glass. If she drank water, young Master Ryong wouldn't spit it out. The people around them began to talk again. Young Master, what should we do? Give her the card. The man called Young Master Long leaned over the table. He was already dizzy, but he still managed to say that. But the money is... Give it to her. With so many people watching, if word got out that he broke his promise, he wouldn't be able to work in the nightclub anymore. His subordinates didn't want to give it to her, but because of their young master's order, they handed the card to Lu Yen. Lu Yen wouldn't use WeChat to transfer money since she didn't want him to get her bank information. So, she took the card and was quite happy. Thanks. Then, Lu Yen winked mischievously and turned to leave. The people behind her wanted to chase after her. Don't chase after her. Young Master Long, are we just going to let that woman go? What do you know? My card is encrypted. Without my authorization, she can't get it from the bank. She doesn't even know the password. Young Master Long thought that he was very smart. He was thinking that if the woman asked him for the password, he would say 888,888 to fool her. Anyway, she didn't know if it was real or not. Ha ha ha, so that's how it is. Young Master Long, you are really smart. His subordinates were sucking up to him. No, I'm dizzy. Take me to the hospital and call an ambulance. After drinking 8 glasses of white wine, young Master Long couldn't take it anymore. His throat felt as if it was on fire. Unable to chase after Lu Yen, he was sent to the hospital by his subordinates. By the time he finished the gastric lavage, it had already been 2 hours. Young Master, are you all right? It's fine. That little bitch. Let's see how this young master will deal with her when I'm discharged tomorrow. Young Master, your phone. The subordinates all knew that the young master could not live without his phone. There were all kinds of women on social media, so they immediately handed him the latest model of a big brand. It was a matte black phone. Young Master Long pressed the unlock button and turned on the phone. He wanted to open WeChat and check his friend's circle. But he saw an unread message below. He clicked on the message and read it carefully. His eyes almost rolled back and he fainted again. Chapter 33-39. Young Master, what's wrong? Are you okay? His subordinates hurried to help him up. The young man couldn't even hold his cell phone and it fell to the ground. When his subordinates lowered their heads to pick it up, they saw the message clearly. It says, Dear customer of a certain line, the black gold card you hold has been paid 10 million yuan across borders at 2033-52. Now the remaining balance is 250 yuan. He counted the time and found it was 2 hours ago when he came to the hospital to have his stomach pumped. The 10 million yuan was transferred out of nowhere, and the funniest thing was that there was only 250 yuan left for him. How did she do it? It's impossible. I don't believe it. She doesn't know the password. Besides, my card is double encrypted. How could she take it out in such a short time? Young master, calm down. We'll get someone to check and see if the bank made a mistake. No mistake. I only have 250 yuan left on this card. Young Master Long yelled in the hospital, agitated. He was forced into the hospital to have his stomach pumped, and the 10 million yuan in his card was gone. There was no one more foolish than him, right? An hour later, he communicated with the bank. His subordinate reported, "Young Master." What did the bank say? Young Master Long was furious. The bank said, "The money in your card was indeed transferred by someone, and the password was cracked at night. Where did it go? Find the name and bank of that little bitch. I'll get the money back even if I have to dig 3 feet into the ground." It went to... His subordinate paused as if he didn't dare to look into his young master's eyes. "If you have something to say, spit it out." The money was transferred out of the country. It's a private account. We only know it's from a Swiss bank, but we can't find out. They don't allow outsiders to investigate their customers' information. That woman seems to have a complicated background. I don't care if she's simple or not. Since we can't get the money back, find her for me. There are cameras in the nightclub, right? Find that little bitch for me. I'm going to kill her. Young Master Long was extremely annoyed at being played. He was also flustered and exasperated as he smashed things in the hospital. Lu Yen had hacked into the security cameras of the nightclub, and all the recordings were gone. The only way was to find a portrait artist from the Criminal Investigation Division. Therefore, it was also very difficult to find the person he was looking for. Lu Yen made a lot of money today. She won 100,000 yuan from the slot machine and only took 80,000 yuan. Then, he drank 10 glasses of wine that night and won another 10 million. Most importantly, Lu Yan's hangover gum had dissolved all the alcohol in the 10 glasses. Not only did that idiot get drunk, but he also thought that if he didn't tell him the password, he wouldn't be able to withdraw the money. He didn't know that Lu Yen was a top hacker and could crack the information of the black card customers in no time. After leaving the nightclub, Lu Yen was in a good mood. She bought a lot of desserts from a dessert shop and went back to South Hill Manor. Su Yu's private villa. "President Su, you're back?" And hurriedly brought a pair of slippers for his boss. "Yes." Su Yu looked exhausted. "How are things over there?" The construction team made a mistake and caused an accident. 1 dead and 3 injured. It's very serious. Then what should we do? We'll deal with it slowly. I've contacted our legal team to talk with the families. I hope we can reach a consensus as soon as possible. Okay. And nodded. How was your day? Was Mion's sister fun? Fun. Very fun. And didn't know whether to laugh or cry at the mention of Lu Yen. That's incredible. Someone who can make you look like this is not a simple person. Hurry up and tell me. Who is that girl? So you looked at An's complicated expression and suddenly felt like he had missed something today. Chapter 3340. How should I put it? Dr. Hua's sister is a weirdo. Weirder than me? She's as good as you, An said seriously. So you didn't know whether to laugh or cry. By the way, President Su, I'll transfer the money to you. Money? What money? So you was so rich that he forgot about the money. The 100,000 yuan you transferred to me this morning. You didn't spend it all? So you was surprised. How could I spend it all? Not only did we not spend it all today, but we also earned 80,000 yuan. And was excited at the thought of the slot machine. What's going on? So you was more confused. He walked to the fridge and opened it out of habit to get a Coke. The moment he opened it, he froze. The fridge was full of things, including fruits, vegetarian noodles, and frozen steaks. You bought this? So you pointed at the fridge and asked in, how's that possible? Then was it Zhang Ro? So you hadn't eaten at home since Zhang Ro went abroad. So he didn't pay attention to the fridge at home. No one else but her. To be honest, Miss Zhang is a good person. Just buy food for you? You're so shallow. So you laughed at an it's good that you're not selling food. It's the thought that's hard to come by. I think Miss Zhang is quite meticulous. When she was living here, She helped us clean up and act as a nanny. She even used her own money to buy groceries and make delicious food for us. Now that she's out of trouble because of you, she still remembers to stuff your fridge full before she left. So, do you want to pursue her? Suyu said. Okay, stop messing around. Continue to tell me about Mion's weirdo sister. It started when I went to pick her up this morning. Xiaoan then told him what had happened. Suyu was savoring the aftertaste of the cola, and said to himself, when we were at the arcade we spent more than 100 yuan to buy game coins. Later we bought more than 3,000 yuan which she didn't need. We even won 100,000 yuan. Then we went to have lunch. We had casserole noodles. It only cost about 20 yuan. So I transferred 90,000 yuan back to you. Forget it, it's giving me a headache. I'll leave it with you for now and treat it as public expenses. Who knows when you'll need it again. Are you going to pick her up tomorrow? Xiaoan asked nervously. Okay, I'll pick her up tomorrow. I'm done there and I'll be free tomorrow. I feel sorry for Mion. I promised to accompany her sister, but I broke my promise. Suyu felt a little guilty. It's okay. You can make it up to me tomorrow. Xiaoan smiled. At the same time, someone in Moscow was so jealous that he almost broke the jar of vinegar. Young Master Qiao, you should at least eat a little. You can't skip dinner. Aimi was dumbfounded. She didn't know what was wrong with young Master Qiao, but his face was so dark that it was scary. He didn't eat or speak for dinner. Get out. Let me be alone. Young Master Qiao. Get out. Young Master Qiao looked up and glared at Aimi. Yes, he didn't have time to deal with the little bitch Aimi. His wife was having fun in China, winning money from slot machines, eating lotus leaf noodles, and traveling with her husband. Not only that, she was drinking at a nightclub and had so many people giving her flowers. Not only that, she was drinking with a rich second-generation heir. Lu Yen, just wait and see. He was so angry that his liver trembled. This wasn't part of the plan. Chapter 33:41. At this moment, Lu Yen got into a taxi. South Hill Manor, thank you. Humming a song in a good mood, she got into the car and told the driver the name of the place. Okay. The driver only said one sentence and didn't say anything else. The car started and drove for about 20 seconds. Lu Yen suddenly felt something was wrong. From the rearview mirror, she saw the driver was wearing a hat. The hat was very low, so she couldn't see the outline of his face. Judging from his voice, he seemed to be in his 30s. The car was indeed heading in the direction of South Hill Manor, but Lu Yen reflexively took out a dagger and placed it on the driver's neck. Miss, what are you doing? Stop acting. I know what you're up to. Tell me who sent you. Miss, you must have mistaken me for someone else. I'm the driver. Keep lying. Lu Yen sneered. I'm really the driver. The driver in the photo is on the day shift and I'm on the night shift. We're working in shifts, he explained. I'm going to ask you one last time. If you don't tell me, I'll send you to hell. Lu Yen slowly pressed down with the knife in her hand. The sharp blade was about to pierce the man's skin. Instantly, he resisted with all his might. He reached for the pistol with his right hand but found it was empty. Are you looking for this? Lu Yen waved the black pistol in her hand. You're curious how I got it, right? Because I stole it 5 seconds ago. Lu Yen smiled. How did you know who I am? The man didn't think he exposed himself. Murderous aura. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't hide the murderous aura of an assassin. You're an assassin too. How come no one saw through your murderous aura when you were on a mission? The man asked, obviously unconvinced. Wrong. I'm not an assassin. I'm a mercenary. Then Lu Yen slit the man's throat. He immediately covered his neck with both hands, but blood was still spurting out uncontrollably. The scene was extremely glaring. His accident caused the car to become unstable. Seeing the car get onto the highway and speed up, Lu Yen opened the door and jumped out without thinking. Then, before getting out of the car, he left a bomb in the car that instantly exploded. Just like that, the car and the people in the car were burned into suckling pigs in the dark of the night. The dead told no tales. In fact, Lu Yen didn't need to ask to know who wanted to kill her. He even knew where she was and followed her to the nightclub, waiting for her to get into the car. It was a perfect plan, but Lu Yen saw through it. After Lu Yen jumped out of the car, a black Toyota sped toward her from behind. Lu Yen shot at the driver's seat and dodged to the side. Fortunately, it was late at night and there were very few cars on the viaduct. Otherwise, it would really cause a series of accidents. 15 minutes later, when Lu Yan's men got the news and arrived, Lu Yen was squatting by a river not far from the viaduct. "Boss, are you all right? If something happened to me and you guys came at this time, I would have been beaten into a sieve, okay? Didn't you tell us not to follow you?" The subordinate didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "Io, you dare to talk back to me?" Lu Yen stood up and pinched the subordinate's face with her blood-stained hands, making him look like a Shar-Pei. No. I'm glad you're all right. Take care of these bodies. Don't let the domestic police find them. Yes. What about you, boss? I'm going back to my sister's place to sleep. You don't have to follow me. Wait, boss. Young Master Chow sent you a message. He's here. Why didn't he send it to me? Lu Yen glanced at her watch. It seems she accidentally turned off her phone during the fight. What did Psycho Chow say? Lu Yen cared about Chow Fei. Chapter 3342. Cut the crap. Tell me. Lu Yen pinched the subordinate's ear, annoyed by his stuttering. Hey, no. Boss, my ear is going to fall off. Then why aren't you telling me? See for yourself. The subordinate handed over his tactical communications watch and opened Xiao Fei's message. Lu Yen let go of his ear and glanced at it. Then, she was speechless. Xiao Fei said, Lu Yen, you're good. Wait for me. Lu Yen didn't know whether to laugh or cry. It was like when you were in school and someone threatened you and told you to wait for me after school. It was so childish. But she could tell that Xiao Fei was jealous. If it weren't for the plan they had made previously, Xiao Fei would probably be in the mood to interrogate her. Ha. Lu Yen couldn't help but laugh. Boss, young Master Qiao, is he threatening you? Yeah. That's exactly what I want. Lu Yan's subordinates were also confused. Only Xiao Fei and Lu Yen knew about the stealth plan. His subordinates all thought that the two of them had turned against each other after breaking up. He couldn't help but worry for his boss. Go back. Don't talk to me. I want to be an ordinary person. Boss, but you didn't seem to be an ordinary person today. The subordinates weren't fools. They were well aware of their boss's whereabouts and what he had done the whole day. That silly boy who dared to flirt with boss must have had 8 lifetimes of bad luck. Not only did he drink until his stomach bled, but he also lost 10 million yuan. It was a disaster. Cut the crap and get the hell out of here. Just treat these few days as a vacation. Eat and drink well. Pick up girls when you need to. Gamble when you need to. If you really have nothing to do, just go to the scenic spots and take pictures to post on your WeChat moments. The subordinates? I'm leaving. Boss will give you a ride. It's not safe. After the taxi incident, the subordinates were worried about their boss taking a taxi. It's fine. I'll kill every one of these shrimp soldiers and crab generals I see. Then Lu Yen waved her hand and hailed another taxi. She didn't believe that those people would have the perseverance to monopolize all the taxis in the city. Boss is so capricious. He's like a child who hasn't grown up yet. One of his subordinates sighed. It's been like this all these years. We have to get used to it. But I'm really worried about her. She almost gave me a heart attack. I've been with her all these years. If something happens to her, where should we go? They sighed. I think if we have time, we should help the boss kill that bitch AI me. I've been in the boss's army for so many years, and AI me is a traitor. No, it should be said that she's the first traitor who didn't get killed by the boss. Someone said, I think the reason why AI me didn't die wasn't because of old times, but because of young Master Qiao. Who knows? Anyway, we don't understand the matters of the masters. Let's just follow the boss. His subordinates watched the taxi drive away. In the end, They didn't dare to follow it and returned to the hotel. Lu Yen had fun the whole day. When she got home, it was already 12:30 a.m. The people at South Hill Manor had all gone to bed. She quietly jumped into the room through the window and saw her sister reading a book on the bed with the lamp on. "Why didn't you come in through the door? What's wrong with you?" Huamin looked at Lu Yen, amused. Chapter 33:43. "Sis, you're still awake?" Lu Yen lowered her voice and tiptoed to the bedside. "How could I sleep when you didn't come back? I thought you were with an, but I didn't expect you to dump him and go crazy on your own." "Ah, you're worried about me?" "No, I'm worried about the people who ran into you," Huamin said without hesitation. Huamin had been worried about Lu Yen, but he learned from Mr. Qin that Lu Yen hadn't been bullied in the past few years. Especially when faced with a pervert like Ian, he could play cat and mouse for several years. So he was worried about the people who were bullied by Lu Yen. "Ha ha ha. Sis, why are you making fun of me? Su Yu was busy and didn't go, and stayed with you the whole day, right?" "Yeah." Lu Yen nodded obediently. "Then where did you go after you sent Yen away?" Huamin asked. "Sis, what are you doing? I'm not interrogating a criminal. Tell me." "I went to a nightclub to drink," Shangshi Pearl. "What? You went to that place?" "Yeah. I drank 10 glasses of wine and made 10 million yuan," Lu Yen said happily. "You drank 10 glasses of wine. Do you know that drinking is bad for your liver?" Huamian began to nag, perhaps because she was a doctor. "Ah, it's okay. I took some gum and got rid of the alcohol." "You're talented, but you don't need to do anything serious. You only know how to think about these things. We have 2 medical geniuses in our family, you and Dad. No, Dad is a chemist like me. He's a bomb genius." "Ah, you and Mom are medical geniuses," Lu Yen said. Huamin sighed slightly. "You came back so late. Are you hungry? Do you want a midnight snack?" "No, I'm not hungry at all. Sis, you're pregnant. Go to bed early. I'm gonna take a shower." Then, Lu Yen walked to the wardrobe, changed into a nightgown, and went into the bathroom. One thing Huamin didn't mention was that he smelled a strong scent of blood on Lu Yen. She really wanted to ask her if she had killed anyone. However, after thinking about it, Qin Chu was right. Xiao Yan was born to walk this path. Perhaps it was in her nature to kill people just like how he saved people. Therefore, when the 2 sisters discussed such a heavy topic, they might not be able to come to any conclusion. Instead, it would make both of them unhappy. Huamin didn't say anything, but Yen was still so young. He couldn't live the rest of his life in such a cruel and bloody way. Huamin was already thinking about how to change her lifestyle so that she could live like an ordinary girl in her 20s. Get married, have children, find an ordinary job, and live the rest of your life. After bathing, the 2 sisters lay on the bed. Lu Yen took her sister's hand from under the blanket and suddenly felt warm in her heart. "Sis, when I was young, I always thought that it would be great if I had an older sister. At that time, Dad hadn't told me about you yet. Dad and I were constantly being hunted down, and we always had to change places in less than a week. At that time, I felt very insecure, and I always longed for the feeling of home, and I always missed my family. Now, I can finally lie next to you, hold your hand, and tell you what's in my heart. This feeling is great." "Me too. Seeing you by my side makes me feel at ease." "Yen, do you have any dreams?" "Dreams? For now, I think it's to get rid of Ian, that stalker." "What about in the future?" Huamin asked. "In the future, I haven't thought about it. To be honest, sis, I don't even know if I have a future. Maybe one day I will." Before Lu Yen could finish, Huamin interrupted her. He said, "Yen, don't do these things anymore. Leave that industry and be a chemistry teacher, okay?" Lu Yen was slightly surprised. Chapter 33:44. Chemistry teacher? Sis, you have a great idea." Hearing her sister's words, Lu Yen was stunned. She was good at chemistry and couldn't be more familiar with all kinds of chemical elements. What would explode when mixed with something, and what would be poisonous when mixed with something. She knew them like the back of her hand. But the idea of letting Lu Yen be a chemistry teacher only showed how creative Huamian was. Am I wrong? Yes, you're absolutely right. Ha! Lu Yen couldn't help but laugh. What are you laughing at? I'm serious. Okay, sis. I'll seriously consider your suggestion. Yen, let me tell you. Many people don't work to make a living. Think about it, there are so many rich people in the world. Why do they work? It's to prove their worth. Yes, sis. You're right. For example, you and my brother-in-law, you have so much money that you can't spend it all, but you still work all day because you have something to do. You can't just eat and wait for death because you have too much money, Lu Yen added. Yes, you're right. But I didn't become a doctor to pass time. I became a doctor because of my childhood dream, Huamin explained. But sis, you have to know that not everyone is as lucky as you. You have my brother-in-law's love and care. He treats your dream as his dream and works hard to realize it. But most people can't realize their dreams even if they work hard for their whole lives. Maybe, but Yen, the people you said can't realize their dreams are those who don't have the ability to realize it. But I think you're so strong that you won't be controlled by fate. Sis, do you believe me? Over the years, I've gotten used to this industry just like you're used to being a doctor. Maybe at first I fought back because I wanted to run for my life and not get killed. But gradually it became a habit for me. So, if you suddenly ask me to be a chemistry teacher, I don't think I can do it. It has nothing to do with money. It's just a peaceful life for me. For me, it's okay for 1 or 2 days, but for a long time I'll go crazy. Maybe there's something in my blood that makes me different from you. Hearing Lu Yan's words, Huamin felt sad. Lu Yen was right. Everyone had their own opinions and right to make decisions. Huamin thought he was doing what was best for his sister, but Lu Yen didn't think so. Perhaps for Lu Yen, being a mercenary, killing people, and accepting missions had already seeped into her heart. This way of life had already become one of her favorite ways of life. If we keep talking like this, I think we'll end up arguing. Huamin laughed. How could that be? I only see you once a year. I won't fight with you. At most, I won't listen to what you say. Lu Yen stuck out her tongue playfully. All right, go to sleep. Yes. Sis? I heard Pudding is speculating in the stock market. She even started her own company. Yeah. I can't control her anymore. Huamin thought of his eldest daughter and didn't know if he was happy or sad. He was happy because Pudding was much more mature, smarter, and calmer than other kids her age. But he was sad because he felt Pudding wasn't doing what she should do at her age. He wasn't sure if he was right or wrong. I've transferred the money I earned today to her company, Lu Yen said calmly, as if she had just bought a piece of clothing for Huamian. What? You transferred 10 million yuan to her? Huamin frowned slightly. Chapter 33:45. Yeah. Are you crazy? She's so young. Why did you give her so much money? Huamin found it hard to accept that Pudding was given 10 million yuan. No matter how rich Lu Yen was, she couldn't give it away so casually. I think Pudding has a good head for business and likes to play with capital. As her aunt, I'll support her. That's too much. Sis, I'm very rich. I know. You risked your life to get your money. You can't squander it like this. It's not squandering if I give it to my niece. You didn't see me lose hundreds of millions in the casino in Singapore. You lost hundreds of millions. Huamin felt like he would have a heart attack if he continued talking with Lu Yen. Probably because he grew up in an ordinary family, Huamin still couldn't get used to the astronomical amount of money involved in transactions. But Qin Chu, Lu Yen, and Su Yu were different. They seemed to see money as nothing more than numbers. Sis, let's go to sleep. I'm so sleepy. Afraid that her sister would continue nagging her, Lu Yen pretended to close her eyes. Finally, seeing Lu Yen close her eyes, Huamin shook his head helplessly and got up to pull up the quilt. He tucked Lu Yen in. The next morning, since it was Saturday, they didn't have to go to school. The twins got up early for breakfast and were in a good mood. Auntie, can you take us out to have fun today? Little Bean looked at Lu Yen with a smile. How do you want to have fun? Lu Yen couldn't help but laugh. Just do whatever you want. Don't control yourself. Ha ha ha. Lu Yen finally laughed out loud. Pudding, on the other hand, was eating her breakfast calmly. Pudding, how's the company? Lu Yen pretended to ask. Not bad. Affected by the stock market crash in the U.S. The domestic stock market isn't very stable. Oh, I see. It seems my gift to you is timely. It can help you stabilize the market. Present. Pudding raised her head and looked at her aunt in confusion. Yeah, a gift. What gift? Pudding was puzzled. You'll know soon enough. Lu Yen glanced at her watch. It would be after 8:30 p.m. before the bank opened for business. Auntie, what gift? Why don't I have one? Little Bean quickly asked. Ha, you have some too. Isn't your sister's money yours? Anyway, you're just a freeloader. You don't have to work. Just sit and eat. How is that the same? My sister is someone who can get angry at any time. Little Bean obviously didn't believe Pudding. It's fine. You still have your mommy and daddy. They will also betray me. As long as I eat desserts, they will collectively attack me. You still have grandpa and auntie? Lu Yen asked. So, auntie, where's my present? Ha ha ha. You're so mischievous. You only remember your present. Lu Yen patted Little Bean's head with a smile. Little Bean, don't ask auntie for gifts. Huamin scolded. But mommy, my sister has one, but I don't. I gave your sister stocks. Don't you know that? Lu Yen fooled her. But I can ask for cash. I have a private account. I'll send you my bank account number. Then, Little Bean sent her bank account number to Lu Yen on WeChat. Lu Yen rarely used WeChat. If it weren't for the fact that she wanted to check her sister's and the twins' WeChat moments, she wouldn't use it at all. She always felt that her social media account wasn't very safe and was afraid that her whereabouts would be exposed. Okay. Little kid, auntie will give you cash. Then Lu Yen turned on her watch and began to use it. Yen, how can you take a kid's words seriously? Huamin saw that Lu Yen was serious and immediately stopped her. Chapter 33:46. I don't trust other kids. But for my nieces, I can give them anything. Lu Yen tapped on the keyboard and transferred a string of numbers to them. Okay, you'll receive it when the bank opens. It's exactly the same this time. Don't say that I'm biased. Annie, I love you. I'll take care of you when you're old. Little Bean said seriously. Thank you, Ms. Chin Mumu. Lu Yen laughed wildly. Auntie, don't listen to the flatterer. She might not even take care of my parents. How can she take care of you? Qin Zhao Zhao, don't try to stir up trouble. Don't destroy the strong relationship between me and Auntie just because you're jealous. That's immoral. What did I teach you in the history class yesterday? You must be kind and loving. Do you understand? Whoa, our Little Bean is acting like an old teacher. Huamin chuckled. Okay, next topic. Auntie, where do you want to take us today? We're on vacation. Where do you want to go? I want to go to the water world. Let's go play in the water. Okay? Okay. I'll book the whole place, Lu Yen said casually. No, please don't. It's boring to book the whole place. It's more fun with more people. Little Bean added. You have a lot of demands. You're a drama queen, Pudding said. You're more qualified than me to be a drama queen. Okay? The two sisters started to quarrel. Huamin was used to it and ate his breakfast calmly. Qin Chu ate first and then drove to work. Mommy, do you want to come with us? I have work today. I have a meeting in the morning. You can take the day off. It's fine, you guys go. I can't do anything with my current condition. I can only help you guys carry your swimming rings. Huamian rubbed her round belly. She felt that her appetite had been particularly good recently. She would gain weight no matter what she ate. Her second child, who was less than 4 months old, had also begun to develop rapidly. Her belly was already very obvious. You're right, Mommy's the most important person in our family right now. Okay, let's go, Little Bean said happily and took a big gulp of milk. Today is Saturday. Buyuan and the others are also on holiday. Do you want to ask them out? Huamin teased his daughter. Sure. Sis, do you want to ask Wei Yunshu out? Little Bean looked back at her sister. I'm fine with anything. Pudding blushed, embarrassed. Damn it, you want to bring your family? No. If you two bring your family, I'll be the only one left. I don't want to be the third wheel. Lu Yen objected firmly. Ha. Auntie, you're so funny. Little Bean couldn't stop laughing. After the meal, Huamin left in an RV under the escort of his bodyguards. Lu Yen drove an orange Land Rover from Chinchu's garage to the Waterworld with the twins. At Southside Recuperation Center, Huamin was in a meeting the whole morning. At noon, he was about to go to the cafeteria when he received a call from Gao Ran. Director Gao, what's your order? Mian, do you want to come to the prison? Gao Ran's tone was heavy. What's wrong? Huasiqian, ever since he was discharged from the hospital, he's been depressed and hasn't eaten much. I think he won't be able to hold on much longer. Huamian remained silent after hearing this. Gao Ran was never an alarmist. If he said so, then Huasiqian must be in a very bad condition. Chapter 33:47. Then, I'll go check on him in a bit. Okay, I'll go with you. If anything happens to you, I won't be able to explain it to Qin Chu, Gao Ran added. Does my husband know about this? No, I didn't tell him. I don't think he wants you to see Huasiqian. Okay, then don't tell him. Huamin had always been worried about the grudge between Qin Chu and Huasiqian. After all, they were too entangled. Although Huasiqian was a man who committed all kinds of crimes and deserved to be shot 10,000 times, Huamin still felt that if he died, he would feel very conflicted. During lunch break, Huamin changed into casual clothes and went out. Madam, where are you going? We'll go with you. No, Gao Ran is coming to pick me up. We're going to do some personal things. Okay. Qin Chu's bodyguards all knew Gao Ran. Seeing Gao Ran drive a black Jaguar to pick them up, they were relieved and didn't insist on following. After Gao Ran picked up Huamin, the two of them headed towards the prison. When did he start acting like this? Huamin asked. He's been like this ever since he was discharged from the hospital. How's his hearing? I'm not sure, because he basically doesn't communicate with people anymore. Okay, I got it. Huamin sighed deeply. Mian, there's something I've been wanting to tell you. I didn't want you to think too much. Tell me, we've been friends for so many years. You, me, Mr. Qin, and Lingling were the first to know each other. We've been friends for more than 10 years. What's there to hide? I think it's time for you and Huasiqian to put an end to it. It's not a good idea to drag things out like this. I think Huasiqian is too sick to be saved. There's no redemption for him. I know, but the problem is that my husband seems to want to use him to lure out another force and then kill them all in one fell swoop. So he can't die yet. I think this method is a bit risky. Huasiqian has tortured us for so many years. Once the force behind him is exposed, I'm afraid we won't be able to handle it. I'm sure Mr. Qin has thought this through more thoroughly than we have. Since he's already made this decision, I'm sure he has his own plans. Obviously, Gao Ran didn't agree with Qin Chu's risky method. However, Huamian supported Qin Chu unconditionally, even if it meant risking her life. Then, the two of them stopped thinking about this problem and arrived at the prison. Gao Ran greeted the prison guard and led Huamin to the innermost cell. Huasiqian was locked up here alone. He didn't interact with any other prisoners, except for the prison guard who brought him food. Don't get close to him when you go in, Gao Ran reminded him again. Huamin nodded and entered the meeting room with mixed feelings. This was a small enclosed space. There were no windows and there were cameras everywhere. When Huasiqian was brought in, his hands and feet were shackled with heavy iron chains. Afraid that he would hurt Huamin, he was tied to a chair and couldn't move at all. When Huamian walked in, he looked up with a smile on his face. Mian, you're here to see me again. I heard you've been on a hunger strike and you're not in a good mood. What's wrong? Do you want to die? Huamin asked straightforwardly. Mian, if you think I've treated you well all these years, Please kill me quickly, Huasiqian said with a smile. However, Huamin felt terrible when he heard this. Chapter 33:48. If you want to die, why don't you bang your head against the wall? Huamin asked calmly. Because I want to die in your hands. Huasiqian smiled warmly, as if he didn't think his words were cruel at all. You don't just want to die in my hands. You want to make me feel guilty, and then mentally torture me. You want to come between me and Qin Chu, even if it's a cruel memory, right? Upon hearing this, Huasiqian looked up at Huamin in surprise. Huasiqian, haven't you been tired after all these years? Mian. Every time he called Mian's name, his tone was extremely gentle. If you're not tired, then let me tell you, I'm very tired. I don't care what you've been through in the past or how you feel about me. But let me tell you, whether it was in the past or now, you, Huasiqian, and I, Huamin, have never had anything to do with me. Even if you thought you loved me for all these years, I can't accept the way you did it. You brought me and my family nothing but deep pain. Now, it's all in the past, but you still won't stop. If you really want to die, then just bang your head against the wall. No one can stop you. Who are you trying to impress by making yourself look so pitiful? Did you purposely make me come here? You knew I'd come to see you after hearing the news, didn't you? Mian, Shut up. I'm not done yet. Huasiqian, you keep saying that Qin Chu, and so you are scheming men who used all kinds of tricks on me. Do you think only your love is pure and flawless? Don't you feel like you're slapping yourself in the face by doing this? What's the point of your acting? You know I won't kill you, but you're saying these things on purpose to make me feel bad, right? In other words, even if I really did kill you, I'd feel guilty for the rest of my life, right? So, how can your schemes be considered as pure and flawless love? All these years, no matter what Qin Chu has experienced, he has never schemed against me like this. You say that you are not scheming, but you have deliberately schemed to leave a deep wound in my heart. How do you explain this? Mian, so that's how you see me. Huasiqian lowered his head, seemingly touched by Huamin's words. What do you think? Would I still treat you as a living Buddha? Huamin was slightly agitated. Outside the interrogation room, Director Gao, should we stop their conversation? I think Lady Qin seems a little agitated. Let's wait and see. Gao Ran was also worried about Huamin's condition. After all, she was pregnant. If something happened to the baby because of her agitation, Qin Chu would never forgive him. However, on second thought, Huamin wasn't an ordinary woman. She shouldn't be so fragile, so he decided to observe her for a while longer. Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm not as noble as I claim to be. My love is selfish. But so what? You say I hurt you? But didn't Qin Chu hurt you? He disappeared for 7 years, and when he came back, he forced you to marry him. Have you forgotten? You say I'm scheming, but what about Suyu? He took advantage of the years when Qin Chu was abroad to stay by your side and play the role of a good father. Didn't he want you? If we're all the same, why do you only hate me? Why? Huasiqian was also agitated. His hands trembled, and the chains on his wrists rattled. In the quiet interrogation room, the sound was particularly ear-piercing. Chapter 33:49. You still don't understand? Huamin looked at him with disappointment. Understand what? No matter what they did, it was for my own good. You, on the other hand, think you're doing it for my own good, but in reality, everything you've done has brought me great harm. But I didn't want it to happen. All these years, I've been working hard. I even bought that island. Don't mention the island to me, Huasiqian. I'm not your pet, and I won't be locked up by you for the rest of my life. You said that you love me because I'm pure and kind. That's because your nature is too evil. You've done a lot of heartless things, so you want to find redemption from me. Ask your conscience. Do you really love me? Or have you always loved yourself? After hearing this, Huasiqian's mind went blank. Huamin's words made him fall into endless confusion. Yes, even he didn't know why he did what he did. All these years, he thought that the only person he loved was Huamin, and that he was willing to destroy the world for him. However, The truth was that even he didn't dare to find out what his true thoughts were. Huasiqian, if you love me, you should know that my biggest dream all these years was to become a doctor and save people, but you've been hurting people all this time. Even if Hua Zhenghai deserved to die, he shouldn't have died at your hands. Even if he wasn't your biological father, at least you grew up in the Hua family. The person who gave you bad memories was Jiang Hong, but you hate the entire Hua family. Because of you, the Hua family went from a prestigious family to a laughingstock. Because of you, the only bloodline of the Hua family, Hua Yanyan, has been driven crazy by you? They deserved it. Huasiqian gritted his teeth and said hatefully, "Fine, even if they deserved it, what about Song Yisher? No matter how bad she was, she shouldn't have been dismembered by you. You even framed Qin Chu, and Wang Shasha, she was pregnant with your child. Yet you killed her. Huasiqian, even a vicious tiger won't eat its own cubs. Look at you, what have you done? You're always using your bad experiences as an excuse, but in this world, who's ever lived a smooth life? Since I was young, I've experienced so many things. Do I have to go on a killing spree to vent the grievances in my heart? What you've done is what you've always wanted to do. It wasn't caused by anything. So stop looking for excuses. Whether it's Jack or you two have one thing in common. There's a demon living in your hearts. It's eating away at your heart bit by bit. The kind young man from many years ago has disappeared without a trace. That's right. All these years, I've been living such a life that I don't even understand myself anymore." After hearing Huamin's words, Huasiqian suddenly felt sorry for himself. He had lived for more than 30 years and always thought his life goals were clear enough. But now he was completely confused. "You should know why Qin Chu is still keeping you alive. Qin Chu wants to fight with Ian and get rid of him, but I don't think he has the ability to do that. Ian isn't as easy to deal with as I am. I advise him to know his limits. He doesn't want to drag you and the twins down with him," Huasiqian said calmly. "But even if we don't go after him, he won't let us go, right?" Huamin asked calmly. "Mian, you're a little different today." Huasiqian carefully looked at Huamin's face and found her unusually calm today. Chapter 3350. Ha! So what do you think I should be like? Huasiqian couldn't say it, but he felt that Huamin wasn't as gentle as before and was a little aggressive. "I've said everything I need to say. You decide whether you want to live or die. I'll say it again, if you want to die, no one can stop you. But please don't drag me into this." After speaking, Huamin stood up and walked out. "Mian." Huasiqian's call made Huamin stop in his tracks. From this angle, he could see Huamin's side profile. As usual, she was dressed in a low-key manner. She wore a simple white shirt with 2 pearls on the collar and a ruffled sleeve. Underneath, he wore a pair of very light-colored jeans with some simple paint. She was always dressed in simple clothes, but it was the most comfortable to look at. Under the white shirt was Huamin's bulging belly, which was pregnant with her and Qin Chu's second baby. "Mian, will you come to see me again?" Huasiqian looked at her side profile in a daze. Huamin hesitated for a moment but didn't say anything. He opened the door and left. Then, Huasiqian was taken away by 2 prison guards and locked up. Huamin and Gao Ran slowly walked out of the prison in the suburbs. "Your performance today surprised me," Gao Ran said. "I was very aggressive, like I ate gunpowder, right?" Huamin smiled. "Yeah, a little." Huasiqian's intention was obvious. He didn't want to die, he just wanted to make things difficult for me. He knew I wouldn't kill him, so he kept provoking me with words. He wanted to brainwash me and make me emotional. He might even kill the baby. But I'm not an idiot. So you had a sharp conversation with him. Not only did you not let him get his way, but you also took the opportunity to brainwash him and make him confused. Something like that. Actually, Huasiqian is very smart. We can't underestimate him. Huamin reminded. "I know." Chu said before that Huasiqian is very complicated. Just from what he's done over the years, you can tell how vicious and meticulous he is. We won't let our guard down. We'll keep an eye on him and don't let him find a chance to kill himself. Don't worry. He won't die, Huamin said with certainty. You seem to be very sure of that. But he really hasn't eaten or drunk for a long time. He did that for me. He knew I would come. Then he's really a scheming man. Gao Ran sighed. Gao Ran didn't think too much about Huasiqian's nature, so he didn't know much about him. Anyway, Huasiqian won't kill himself. He'll probably wait for himself to be rescued. Save them? Are you talking about the foreign forces? Something like that. I have a feeling that Huasiqian's other personality is about to wake up. That murderer? Gao Ran was very wary of Huasiqian's second personality. Every time that guy came out, he would cause a storm of blood. It wasn't a good thing. To be more precise, Jack was much more difficult to deal with than Huasiqian. Yeah, tell your people to be careful. Okay. After coming back from prison, Huamin felt a bit depressed. She thought it would be better to kill Huasiqian now. The longer they delayed, the more trouble they might cause in the future. So, she planned to discuss it with Mr. Qin at night and see what he thought. At the water world, after playing for a while, the twins and Lu Yen sat down on a bench to rest. You really transferred 10 million yuan to us? Little Bean's eyes almost fell out when she received the message from the bank. Chapter 33:51. Yeah. Lu Yen nodded. Is it in yuan? Do you think it's in yen? Lu Yen couldn't help but laugh. Oh my God. I love you so much. Little Bean had never seen such a huge amount of money. In the morning, when she heard that her auntie had given her sister a gift, she thought it was 100,000 yuan. So she began to compete for her sister's favor. If she knew it was 10 million yuan, she wouldn't have dared to ask for it. When she got home, her mom would teach her a lesson. Auntie, it's too much. I don't dare to ask for it. Mom will scold me. Little Bean felt guilty. Don't worry, Little Bean. Although your account is in your name, you don't have the right to use it freely. Anyway, Mom will manage it for you. You can use it freely when you're 18. Don't worry. Damn it. You're right. I got happy too early. Hearing her sister's words, Little Bean immediately understood. Huh? That's not right. Sis, how can you use it freely? Because I have the stock market. I can manipulate the market at any time. I don't withdraw cash. Humph, I despise you. The sisters began to bicker again. Lu Yen drank juice on the side and found it very interesting. Come on, Auntie, let's take photos. No, I don't look good on camera. You two take photos. Lu Yen rarely took photos because she was afraid that her news would leak and her enemies would hunt her down. Hey, since everyone is so happy, why don't I ask Handsome Sue to come? Little Bean said as she took selfies. No. Lu Yen refused without hesitation. Why not? Because I don't know Suyu well. It's so awkward to play in the water with strangers. It's okay. You'll get used to it later. No. I can't relax with someone else here. Lu Yen refused firmly. Little Bean, don't make trouble. Aren't the three of us fine? Auntie said she would take us to eat Japanese food later. Okay. Then I'll video call Handsome Sue. Okay? Finally, Little Bean had no choice but to video call Suyu. However, after a few words, Suyu hung up, and Little Bean never mentioned it again. In fact, Lu Yen didn't dislike Suyu, but she felt guilty after reading Xiao Fei's message. Previously, when they were drinking at the nightclub, they were already jealous enough to compete with others in drinking. If Psycho Xiao found out that she was hanging out with Suyu in a swimsuit while playing in the water, wouldn't Psycho Xiao bombard her with a rocket launcher? There should be a limit. Besides, she was the one who came up with the plan. When Xiao Fei heard that they were going to separate, he strongly disagreed. She had coaxed and pestered Xiao Fei with her beauty. That brat had taken advantage of her many times before she finally convinced Xiao Fei. It was also to lure out the big fish behind Xiao Nan. Now that he was courting death here, wouldn't Psycho Xiao be very pitiful? Auntie, what are you thinking? Can't you hear me? Little Bean yelled. I was distracted. Ha! Baby, what's the matter? Can you get me a towel? I'm so cold. No, I can't leave you guys. You guys must follow me closely. There were a lot of people here, so Lu Yen didn't dare to let her guard down. The twins had been kidnapped twice before. Okay. Auntie, you're pretty, so whatever you say is right. Little Bean looked helpless. On the other side, Suyu was signing some documents in his office. His phone beeped with a WeChat notification. Hey, Mr. Su. Did you miss me? Chapter 3352. Humph. Suyu sneered proudly. You're heartless. I prepared so much delicious food for you in the fridge. Zhang Rou sent him a voice message. I didn't eat it, and ate it all. Suyu refused to admit it, making him the scapegoat. Then swear that if you eat one bite, you'll be a puppy. No, you'll be a husky. You're a fucking husky. Suyu retorted in exasperation. Ha ha ha. What do you think? You can't take it anymore, right? I knew you'd eat it. How was your trip? If you don't have enough money, you can give me money. Right, rich Lord Su? Zhang Rou joked. Of course not. I don't have money. Stingy. Humph. It's fun here, but it's a bit hot. Yeah, it's fun. Then, when can I go back? Zhang Rou wanted to say that she didn't want to continue the trip, but she was afraid that Suyu wouldn't let her go back, which would make things awkward for them. In fact, Suyu didn't think too much about it. After all, Zhang Rou didn't take all her luggage with her when she left. He didn't want to use this opportunity to drive Zhang Rou out at all. After all, he wasn't the type to burn bridges after crossing them. You can come back when you're done. Suyu didn't think too much about it. Really? Is the public opinion over? Zhang Rou asked cautiously. You mean Nye Lingxian? Yeah. Zhang Rou nodded. That's long gone. It's the era of new media now. Let's not talk about this small matter. Even if a male celebrity had an affair, it would only be on Weibo's trending list for 2 days before it would disappear. What we have is not real to begin with, and no one would be so bored as to harp on it. If you're done playing, you can come back anytime. Okay, I'll go back in a few days. Zhang Rou's heart warmed when she heard Suyu say that she could come back at any time when she was done playing. It seemed that he didn't want to use this opportunity to drive her out. Okay, I'll get back to work. Then they ended their WeChat conversation. In Singapore, Zhang Rou was in a luxury shopping mall. She looked at a fashionable men's white shirt and said, Please wrap this up. Yes, Mississippi. The waiter quickly packed it for her. Evening Suyu was driving home in his Lamborghini after work when he received a call from Shun Mingxi. Lord Su, come out and have a drink. Sure. Where is it? Imperial Duke. Okay, we'll be there soon. After the relationship between Suyu and Shin Mingxi eased, the two of them gradually returned to how they used to be. Tang Chuan used to organize drinking parties. A few days ago, he saw Qin Ning posting pictures of her friends from America. In a fit of anger, he booked a flight to Los Angeles in the middle of the night. Wei Liao was an introverted person and rarely took the initiative to host a drinking party. Suyu was also busy, so they never got together. Today, Shin Mingxi had brought it up, and Suyu happened to be free, so he hurried over. When she arrived, she realized that there were many rich second-generation young masters in the circle in the private room. Some of them had brought along their female companions. Seeing Suyu come in, they stood up to greet him. Lord Su. Young Master Su, you're here. MHM. Suyu nodded and walked toward Shin Mingxi. What's the occasion today? It's not your birthday. Suyu was puzzled. No. Then why did you organize such a party? Suyu was puzzled. You'll know in a minute, Shin Mingxi said. What's going on? Why are you being so mysterious? Suyu knew this guy was up to something. At this moment, the door of the private room was opened again. When Wei Liao appeared with Wei Ying, Suyu was slightly surprised. Chapter 3353. The moment Wei Mingxi and Wei Mingxi walked in, the whole room fell silent. Everyone else was dumbfounded. Wei Liao's expression showed that he didn't know there were so many people in the room. Wei Ying was wearing a simple yellow gown with lace edges. Her back was exposed in a V shape, making her look petite and cute. Wei Liao is here too, so you felt like something wasn't right. Shen Mingxi stood up first. Second brother Wei. Stop. I don't think I'm related to the Shen family. Why are you calling me brother? Wei Liao didn't give him face. In the past, Ying and I... You said it was in the past. Why are you bringing it up now? Are you trying to scam me? No. I invited you here today because I want to do something I've always wanted to do. Shen Mingxi then took the microphone from his assistant. In front of the whole room, he glanced at Wei Liao and then at Wei Ying. Then he said, "What I've done in the past is indeed heinous. I've brought great harm to the Wei family and little Ying. I'd like to apologize first." No need to apologize. Mr. Shen, please get to the point. We're all busy. Wei Liao didn't want to listen to his emotional speech. I admit what I did, but everyone makes mistakes. I don't want to miss out on the future because of my mistakes. Second brother Wei, allow me to say something shameless, but I still like little Ying in my heart. What you said is indeed shameless. Wei Liao looked at him coldly. Big brother. Wei Ying secretly tugged at her brother's sleeve, feeling his tone was too harsh. There's nothing wrong with love. What's wrong is that I didn't know how to cherish it. Second brother Wei, Ying isn't married and I haven't remarried. I hope she and the Wei family can give me another chance. In your dreams, I know this request is very rude, so I've thought about it for a long time. Today, I've specially invited so many people to be witnesses, especially Lord Su. Please supervise me. If I hurt little Ying in the future, I'm willing to accept any punishment. You won't hurt little Ying anymore, because you won't have the chance. We won't give you the chance. Second brother Wei, I really like Ying. Shen Mingxi. A good man doesn't turn back. We won't pursue what happened between you and Xiao Ying, but we won't forgive you either. However, that doesn't mean that we've forgotten what you did with Huo Yanyan back then. I'm sure you know that broken mirrors can't be repaired. If you're doing this because of the Shen family's recent crisis, I advise you to give up. The Wei family won't help you. Don't even think about using my sister. It's not like that. I'm not using you. I'm sincere. Shen Mingxi then took out a small brocade box from his trousers pocket. Inside was a Cartier diamond ring. I'm sorry. If you're willing, please give me one last chance. This time, I won't lose you again. With that, Shen Mingxi got down on one knee in front of everyone. He raised the ring with both hands in front of Wei Ying. Wei Ying looked shocked. Shen Mingxi was a low-key and introverted man, so he shouldn't have done something like this. It was obvious how cruel he was. So he was caught off guard and felt it was too sudden. Chapter 3354. You're good at acting. Wei Liao sneered slightly. Big brother? Ying, ask for the ring first. Our Wei family can afford it. If you accept the ring today, you'll never have a brother like me again. Maybe Wei Liao was afraid his sister wouldn't make up her mind, so he made a big move. Hey, old Wei, so you couldn't stand it anymore. Even if she didn't accept the ring in front of so many people, she should be tactful. Don't embarrass Shen Mingxi like this. After all, he's still a big shot. But Wei Liao seemed to have made up his mind. Lord Su, don't get involved in this. It's our family business. Hearing Wei Liao's words, so you didn't say anything else. He turned his head and sat back down. Second brother, it was all my fault in the past. You can hit me or scold me. I have no complaints. But please give me another chance. I really don't want to miss Ying. We were both immature in the past and made a lot of mistakes when we were young. Now, with the passage of time, what's left is the real person. Big brother Mingxi really knows his mistakes. I think... Shut up. Wei Liao was infuriated by Wei Ying's lack of willpower. Have you forgotten what happened in the past? You've forgotten the pain after the scar healed, right? No, big brother. I just think... I was wrong back then. Other men wouldn't be able to accept what I did. Now that Wei Ying was sober, she had done a lot of reflection. Shen Mingxi was wrong to cheat on Huo Yanyan. but she was also responsible for it. If she were a sensible girl, Shin Mingxi wouldn't have fallen into Hua Yanyan's trap. Most importantly, they still had each other in their hearts. The Shin family and the Wei family used to be good friends. Wei Ying had had a crush on Shin Mingxi since she was 15. After all these years, her feelings for Shin Mingxi still hadn't changed. Don't make excuses for a jerk. You're my sister, the princess of the Wei family. Our family is rich and powerful, and you have a lot of education and beauty. You have a lot of choices. Why are you fixated on him? Brother, in my heart, Xiaoying, come with me. Seeing that his sister was going to continue, Wei Liao immediately grabbed her hand and was about to leave. Big brother, I haven't finished yet. Before Wei Ying could finish her sentence, Wei Liao violently dragged her away. Shin Mingxi knelt on one knee and awkwardly held up the ring. The scene was very awkward. Ahem. Brother Shin, you can get up now. So you was the first to speak. Seeing that Wei Ying wasn't going to come back, Shin Mingxi looked disappointed. He stood up slowly, put away the ring, and went back to his seat in a daze. You acted rashly. Why didn't you discuss it with me? Suyu asked him in a low voice. I wanted to give Xiaoying a surprise and give her an explanation. Then why didn't you ask Wei Ying to come? Why did you ask old Wei to come? So you thought that if Wei Liao hadn't been there, things would have worked out. I hope you can forgive me. Shin Mingxi lowered his head and said, Damn it, you don't know how much he hates you. Even if he forgives you, it'll take a long time. You did it so suddenly. How can he forgive you? You acted rashly. But don't be discouraged. I can see that Wei Ying still likes you. If you really want to get back with her, you have to think about it carefully. Okay. After drinking for a while, Shin Mingxi went back to his house alone. Sitting in the living room, he picked up the phone and dialed an international number. Put Tian Tian on the phone, he said to the nanny on the other end. Chapter 33:55. Miss Tian Tian is asleep, the nanny said. So early. Shin Mingxi glanced at his watch. He didn't come home too late today. Shouldn't Tian Tian be asleep at this time? It's true, she said. She's not feeling well. Not feeling well? Is she sick? Did she see a doctor? Shin Mingxi asked with concern. Don't worry, sir. Miss Tian Tian doesn't have a fever. She's just tired. She has a lot of classes and is new here, so she's not used to the language yet. Okay, let me know if you need anything. Okay, sir. In Singapore, after hanging up, the nanny said in a low voice, Miss Tian Tian, sir cares about you so much. I think you should answer his call. You think? What makes you think you are? Who do you think you are? You're just a nanny. All you need to do is take care of my daily needs. Why do you care about my private life? Tian Tian looked angry. No, that's not what I meant. I just think sir really cares about you. He cares about me? If he really cares about me, he wouldn't listen to that bitch Wei Ying's slanderous words and send me to this damned place. Seeing this, the nanny didn't dare to say more. This little girl had a bad temper and would throw tantrums at the slightest thing. The nanny served her carefully for the sake of a high-paying job. This child's identity was strange. She was only a few years old and came here alone without her parents. She didn't know much about the language at school and didn't talk to anyone. She didn't even talk to the Chinese teacher and had no friends. When Wei Ying got home, she quarreled with her brother and locked herself in her room. She secretly sent a WeChat message to Shin Mingxi. Wei Ying, Big Brother Mingxi, I'm really sorry about what happened. My brother got a little emotional. Shin Mingxi, I understand. Wei Ying, I'm really sorry that my brother treated you like that in front of so many people. Shin Mingxi, it's okay. I expected it. Wei Ying, Big Brother Mingxi. Then, you should go to bed. Wei Ying wanted to say more, but seeing Shin Mingxi's low spirits, she didn't dare to say more. Everything that happened tonight seemed to happen too fast. This time, Shin Mingxi was humiliated in front of so many people. The next day, as expected, the news spread. Even Tang Chuan, who was in the United States, called Suyu to ask about it. Damn, second-hand women are so valuable? But you're right. Anyway, to Shin Mingxi, Wei Ying is his subordinate. After all, she used to work for him. Tang Chuan said exaggeratedly. You don't have to care about others. Just take care of your own matters. My business is very clear. I want to marry Qin Ning and have children. Tang Chuan smiled proudly. Don't be so smug. Who wants to have babies with you? Qin Ning kicked him in the butt. After hanging up, Suyu was about to drive to the company when he received Zhang Rou's call. Eldest Miss Zhang, what instructions do you have? Su. Mr. Su, hello? I'm Zhang Rou's good friend, Zhang Qian. Suyu was dumbfounded. Last night, when Ruru came back from shopping, she was hit by a car and is now in the hospital. What? Car accident? Suyu froze. Yes. But don't worry, it's not serious. Her left leg is injured and she can't move freely. In this case, we're not in the mood to play anymore. Can you come and pick her up? To Singapore? Suyu suddenly realized what Zhang Rou's best friend meant. Yes. It's not convenient for a woman like me to push her onto and off the plane. Okay, I'll arrange it. Send me the address of the hospital. Okay, Mr. Su. Putting down the phone, Suyu glanced at an book a ticket to Singapore immediately. Why? And looked incredulous. Take Zhang Rou back. She was in a car accident. Suyu frowned slightly. Huh? And was even more baffled. Chapter 3356. What are you waiting for? Go and book the tickets. But what about our family? What's there for you to worry about? Suyu looked at an Dr. Hu's sister. Haha, you're still thinking about his sister at a time like this? Suyu burst into laughter. No, I didn't mean that. After all, I was with her before. Now that I'm gone, who's going to stay with her? And blushed. Don't worry. You go and pick up Zhang Rou. I'll stay with Sister Mian, okay? Suyu teased in, making him blush. Zhang Rou's car accident was sudden, but it wasn't a big deal. Hearing that she only hurt her foot, Suyu sent end to her. There were two reasons. First, Singapore was far away. After all, it would take a lot of time to go back and forth. There was still a lot of work to be done in the company. Second, since Zhang Rou was fine and shouldn't go, he didn't want Zhang Rou to misunderstand that he was interested in her. So Suyu thought N was the best choice. But to his surprise, N didn't want to go. It seemed he was still thinking about Mian's sister, so you didn't know whether to laugh or cry. During the weekend, Lu Yen played with the twins like crazy and took pudding and Little Bean out every day. Huamin, on the other hand, was worried about Huasiqian. On the evening of the weekend, Huamin and Qin Chu took a walk around the fountain square in the yard of South Hill Manor. Honey, do you have something to tell me? You can tell? Huamin chuckled. I know you too well. You looked uneasy at dinner. Yeah, I do have something to tell you. Go ahead. Qin Chu held Huamin's hand. Whenever they talked business, they were like friends, analyzing and discussing everything. It seemed that they rarely quarreled because of differences in opinion. The problem was that both of them were smart people and had the same view on many things. Honey, I went to see Huasiqian the other day. Yeah. Then, after I came back, I felt that it wasn't right to keep him like this. Of course, I didn't say that because I pitied him. I just felt that his willpower was very weak, and his desire to live was very low. The prison also said that he was mentally weak, so Gao ran and I went to take a look. Go on. Qin Chu's face was calm as he held Huamian's hand and walked forward. I think that if he continues like this, it's fine if he dies. If he doesn't die and his second personality, which is Jack, appears, the consequences will be terrifying. You're worried he'll break out of prison? Qin Chu looked at Huamin. No. After all, you and Gao Ran personally deployed the prison. He won't break out of prison. After all, life isn't a movie. I just think, if the foreign forces, no matter if it's Ian or Nalo, intervene, Huasiqian or Jack, is likely to escape successfully. He knows us too well. It's too dangerous for us. Those people are hard to deal with. If he escapes and comes after us, we'll be in trouble. Although Huasiqian is a psycho, he still has a trace of conscience. After all, he never killed me. But Jack is different. He's another person. So, I understand, honey. Yeah, that's good. Let me think about it. Okay, think about it. If you think it's feasible, you should give him a quick death, Huamin said. Okay. You don't think I pity Huasiqian, do you? Seeing Qin Chu so calm, Huamin was worried that her husband would overthink. Chapter 33:57. It's natural for you to feel sorry for her. You're a doctor and have a kind heart. Aren't I the Virgin Mary bitch that people talk about? Huamin couldn't help but chuckle. People who call others bitches are really vicious. How can you believe all the nonsense on the internet? Qin Chu flicked her head lovingly. I'm just afraid that you'll misunderstand me, Huamin said coquettishly. Come on, your husband still has the ability to distinguish between good and bad. Okay, I'm relieved to hear that. Suddenly, Huamin remembered something and asked, Honey, did Yen have a fight with her boyfriend? Just tell me. I'm worried. She's been here for a long time and hasn't mentioned Xiao Fei. I think he's a good guy. Huamin believed that he didn't misjudge Xiao Fei, even though he had only seen him a few times. But that child was absolutely sincere towards Yen. I'm not sure if they had a fight or not. Lu Yen has always been mysterious. I think they're on a mission. A mission, Huamin murmured to himself. You don't have to worry about Lu Yen. With her personality, even if the Earth is destroyed, she'll still get on a spaceship and fly into space. Qin Chu commented seriously. Ha ha ha, honey. You're bad-mouthing my sister again. Huamin couldn't stop laughing. The couple chatted about life as they walked after dinner. Huamin liked this kind of peaceful life. Maybe it was because he had gone through so much in the past few years that everything he had today didn't come easy. In the twins' room, Lu Yen and the twins each had a cell phone and were playing games. After winning a few rounds, Lu Yen put down her cell phone. Babies, let Auntie rest for a while. Okay? Okay, Auntie. I'll get you a popsicle. Ah, thank you, Little Bean. With that, Little Bean rushed downstairs in a hurry. Auntie, don't be touched by her. She's just using you as a cover. My mommy won't allow her to eat popsicles before going to bed. So that's how it is. This kid is so cunning. Lu Yen chuckled. Auntie, how long are you going to stay? Pudding suddenly asked. Why are you asking this? I just don't feel safe. Auntie comes and goes mysteriously, unlike Auntie. Auntie always keeps in touch with us when she goes back to the States. But if Auntie leaves, even Mommy rarely gets in touch with her. So, I really don't want you to leave, Pudding said sadly. After all, children's feelings were fragile. Pudding and Little Bean spent all their time with Lu Yen. He liked her very much. She spoiled the child to the extreme. It was said that grandparents doted on children the most. But in this family, no one was as spoiled as Lu Yen. As long as the twins had a request, there was nothing that she couldn't fulfill. Pudding and Little Bean loved this mysterious auntie very much. Therefore, before Lu Yen left, Pudding tried to persuade her to stay. You're making me feel sad. Auntie, where do you live? When Little Bean and I are on vacation, can we go there for the winter vacation? Pudding suddenly had an idea. They only knew that their auntie lived in the States, so they had a lot of fun there. Then, they heard from their mommy that their auntie also lived abroad, so Pudding offered to visit. Even someone as smart as Lu Yen couldn't answer the question. Auntie, you don't want us to go? Pudding pouted at her auntie's perfunctory attitude, feeling wronged. Chapter 33:58. Oh, no, that's not what I meant. Looking at her niece's sad eyes, Lu Yen felt like breaking down. It wasn't that she didn't want to, but the truth was that her identity was too special. She hadn't gone back to her old home for a long time and had been traveling around the world. Lu Yan's home was on a secluded island in the South Pacific Ocean. The island was equipped with advanced anti-surveillance equipment. No aircraft or ships would be able to detect it. The security on the island was also very tight, ready to fight at any time. In fact, the island was quite safe, but she had too many enemies and it was hard to say if she could go back to her old home with the two kids. Even her dad didn't want her to stay in China for too long and have contact with the twins. If she took the kids on a vacation, her dad would scold her to death. Her sister wouldn't agree, would she? Besides, she wasn't sure about it. Pudding's sudden question made Lu Yen feel very conflicted. Pudding, you're so smart. I'll explain it to you briefly. Go ahead, Auntie. Pudding could tell her auntie had something to hide. Auntie, you have a lot of money, right? Yes. Where did you get your money? I earned it, Pudding answered without hesitation. Lu Yen. No. Think about it. How did I earn my money? Lu Yen asked. Pudding was stumped. Indeed, she only knew her auntie was very, very rich, but she didn't know what her auntie did for a living. This wasn't something a 3-year-old child could understand. Auntie must have a big business like my dad. She has a company and a corporation. Pudding thought her auntie must have a big corporation if she could transfer 10 million yuan to her at once. Ahem, you're right. I'm a businessman, a big businessman. But this business is special. So, I've had a lot of enemies over the years. Those bad guys always want to catch me. So, I've been running away. I haven't been back in a long time. So I'm afraid it's not safe for you and Little Bean to go back. Oh, I see. Pudding seemed to understand. At this time, Little Bean came back with a few fridges. Hurry up and eat. 2 for each of us. Mommy wasn't in the house, so she didn't see me take them. Ha ha ha. God is helping me. Little Bean was still immersed in the joy of stealing a few more popsicles. Won't your stomach hurt from eating so much? Lu Yen looked at Little Bean worriedly. Her? As long as it's food, it's fine. Don't worry. Pudding looked at Little Bean with disdain. You make it sound like I'll eat anything but dog shit. Little Bean was speechless. Aren't you? Pudding asked wittily. Qin Zhao Zhao, I don't want to quarrel with you tonight. Auntie is here, so don't be happy. Don't cause trouble. Okay? Ha ha ha. Lu Yen laughed at the sisters' weird conversation. At this moment, Little Bean leaned against Lu Yan's shoulder. She was happily eating her popsicle while playing with her phone. Then, for some reason, he sent a video call to Suyu. After and left, Suyu was the only one left at home. He wanted to make something to eat, but he didn't know how to do it. There was a lot of food in the fridge, but he didn't want to eat it. Perhaps it was too lonely to eat alone. Just then, Little Bean sent a video call. He immediately said excitedly, Little Bean, I'll treat you to dinner. What's going on? Little Bean was also confused. I'm still hungry. There's no food at home. I'm starving. Suyu looked at the video and acted coquettishly with a child. That's easy. Come to my house. Little Bean took a bite of her popsicle. That's not a good idea. There are too many people at your house. Isn't your auntie at your house? Suyu said. Yeah, that's her. Little Bean immediately gave Lu Yen a close-up. Suyu was so embarrassed that he wanted to crawl into a hole. Chapter 33:59. Hey! Lu Yen wasn't prepared to be exposed by her niece. She didn't expect her first meeting with Suyu to be like this. Ahem. Hello? I'm Suyu. I'm Lu Yen. Then, there was a minute of silence. Hey, why aren't you two talking? Little Bean was the first to break the silence. I need to go to the washroom. You guys talk. Then Lu Yen ran away. She really didn't have anything to talk about with Suyu, especially in front of the two kids. It was so weird. Handsome Su, did you get a good look at my auntie? No. Suyu was telling the truth. He didn't dare to look at her seriously. That's easy. Sis, send Auntie's photo to Handsome Su. Why? Pudding was confused. Let Handsome Su see how beautiful our auntie is, Little Bean said proudly. Pudding took out her photo album and sent it to Suyu's WeChat. Suyu opened it and nodded. Yeah, she's a beauty. So, do you have an idea? Little Bean asked with a smirk. I do. Suyu nodded again. That's even easier. Tell me your idea and I'll see how we can help you. Little Bean seemed very excited. My idea is that she's pretty, and it's a pity she's not an actress. You two can ask her if she wants to sign with Imperial Star, Suyu said. Pudding? Little Bean. That's your idea? Little Bean was surprised. What else? Suyu looked innocent. Fuck. I thought you were interested in my auntie. What? Why would I do that? Am I such a shallow person? I'm not a teddy bear. Suyu rolled his eyes at Little Bean through the phone. Then what are we talking about? Are you trying to set me up again? You're here again? Suyu finally understood the little fellow's thoughts. Are you kidding me, handsome Sue? You want to sign my auntie? You know she's super rich. You're scared of how fast she spends money. Even Imperial Star isn't enough to pay her, right? Are you serious? Suyu continued to play along. Of course it's true. Do you know that my aunt casually gave us 20 million yuan this morning? 20 million? Is it Japanese yen or Korean won? Suyu continued to tease her. Don't joke around. It's RMB. Be serious. Little Bean was speechless when she saw Suyu's cheeky smile. Okay, I won't tease you anymore. But don't have any bad thoughts. Your mommy already said that your aunt is already taken. I have nothing to do with her. You even found out about this? Looks like you didn't have good intentions from the beginning. Haha. Little Bean finally caught the key point and turned the tables. Suyu, that's not the point. The point is that I haven't eaten yet. I'm so lonely at home alone. Can you two come out and have a midnight snack with me? Where's Uncle Lin? Pudding was curious. He's on a business trip. I sent him out. Looks like you're really bored. How about this? Come pick us up later. Pudding didn't want Suyu to have dinner alone. I'll decide what to eat. Okay? Little Bean's eyes lit up. Can we not bring your auntie? So you thought it would be awkward if Lu Yen came. You're thinking too much. My auntie won't go with you. For the first time, Pudding dissed Suyu for thinking too highly of himself. Ha ha ha. Sis, I'll give you a thumbs up. Little Bean immediately gave her sister a thumbs up. So, what are we going to eat later? So you felt the twins would kill him if he continued to talk about this topic. Let's eat at Grandma Sue's place. Okay? I miss her. Pudding thought for a moment and said seriously. Suyu and Little Bean immediately agreed. Half an hour later, Suyu drove to South Hill Manor to pick up the twins. On the other side, Huamin received an important notice from the province that night. She was worried after reading it. Mr. Qin, I have something to ask you. Please approve. Huamin stood at the door of the study like a bullied wife. Chapter 3360. I won't approve it. Why not? Huamin looked like she was about to cry, because when Dr. Hu tells me something serious, it's usually not a good thing, so I won't approve it. You can't do this. Mr. Qin's mind was out of this world. Before Huamin could say what it was, he immediately analyzed and rejected it. Bite me if you don't like it. Qin Chu purposely tried to piss her off. Humph, no way. I'm afraid you'll get rabies. I should be the one saying that. Qin Chu put down his work and walked over. Honey, I'm not kidding. I really do have something to say. Huamin began to act coquettishly. What is it? I just received a notice from the province. Tomorrow, I'm going to Lin County for a small meeting. Lin County? That's more than 500 miles from here. Qin Chu's face darkened. But I'm not going alone. Many doctors from the hospital are going. I'm representing President Wu. You know that President Wu is flying all over the country to attend all kinds of meetings. He's working a lot harder than I am. As the deputy director, I don't want to be just a figurehead. I want to do something for Southside. So? Qin Chu raised his eyebrows and looked at Huamin. So you'll let me go, right? Huamin looked at him with a fawning expression. Ever since she got pregnant, Qin Chu became more and more strict with her. She couldn't even go shopping alone. She was protected like a panda. How long will you be gone for? Just one day. I'll be there on the same day. I'll have a meeting at night and come back the next day. One night, Qin Chu frowned again. It's just one night. Don't worry. Ha, so many people will be there. I'm gonna take Jia with me. She's the best at taking care of me. Then, well, since you wanna go, then go. Qin Chu finally approved Hua Min's business trip application. Wow, that's great. I love you, hubby. Hua Min excitedly stood on her tiptoes and kissed Qin Chu on the cheek. But I want to go with you. Ha! Hua Min was dumbfounded. Such a long journey. I'm worried. Qin Chu said. But there are so many people from the hospital. Besides, I can also bring bodyguards. I don't feel at ease bringing bodyguards with me, so I'll go with you. That's it, it's decided. After that, Qin Chu turned back to his seat and continued to work on his laptop. Honey, you're so busy every day. There's a lot of work to do at the company. You really don't have to accompany me. Why don't you let Yen come with me? Hua Min almost wanted to praise himself for his sudden inspiration. Hua Min had always heard that Yen was very powerful, but he had never seen how powerful she was. Lu Yen had never killed anyone in front of her sister. Hua Min thought he was just going on a business trip, and it was a short one. If she took her husband with her, would people gossip about her? The nurses in the hospital would definitely say she was being unreasonable. So, she thought of asking Lu Yen to go with her. She had thought her husband would gladly agree to this. However, to her surprise, Qin Chu's face darkened even more. No, Lu Yen can't go with you. Why not? Mian, do you trust me? Qin Chu looked up at Hua Min and didn't answer her question directly. Of course. Then listen to me. I'll go with you. Okay. Seeing Qin Chu's insistence, Hua Min didn't say anything else. Honey, I'm now under the protection of our whole family, right? Hua Min asked with pursed lips before he left. Yes. Then if I kill the panda, I can become a national treasure, right? Hua Min felt wronged. Chapter 3361. There's nothing wrong with that, Qin Chu answered. Okay, I'll do as you say. I'll go pack. Hua Min turned around and left the study. She really thought it was a big deal to ask her husband to accompany her on a business trip. But Qin Chu knew how important it was. Hua Min's identity had been exposed. Ian, Nalo, and even Chao Nan might have designs on Hua Mian. After all, compared to Lu Yen, she was just an ordinary person. She was easy to catch. So, Qin Chu didn't dare to let his guard down. As for why he didn't want Lu Yen to go, that was the perfect explanation. Lu Yen had too many enemies. She was constantly being watched and hunted down. Not only did he not feel safe with her, but it was also very dangerous. Lu Yen knew this as well, so she didn't hang out with Hua Min all the time. Except for the day when she first came to Southside and spent a whole day with Hua Min, Lu Yen didn't dare to follow her sister all the time. She didn't want to get into trouble. After all, in the past few days, the killers had changed again and again. For the past few days, Lu Yen and Hua Min slept in the same room. Qin Chu had been in the study. Every night, Hua Min would prepare incense. Qin Chu gradually slept longer than before. The effect wasn't very fast, but it was obvious. At least, his complexion was better than before. After finishing his work, Qin Chu called Gao Ran. What? Want a drink with me? Gao Ran chuckled. Aren't you on duty today? How do you know? Gao Ran chuckled. I've already memorized your shift schedule backwards. I believe you. After all, you've loved me for years, just like how you love Hua Min. You're disgusting, Mr. Qin said in all seriousness. Ha ha ha. Old Gao, I wanted to talk about Hua Xiqian. What happened to Hua Xiqian? Mian and I discussed it and decided that we shouldn't keep him around. Didn't you say you wanted to use him to catch a big fish? From the looks of it, even without him, the big fish will come to us, so he's not that valuable anymore. Mian is right, in order to avoid trouble we should take action first. That's fine too. In any case, as long as he's alive I won't feel at ease. I should have snapped him a long time ago. Gao Ran said. Then make the arrangements. Let's do it tonight. Tonight? And there's no time to lose. Clean it up, Qin Chu instructed. All right, I'll get someone to do it right away. After hanging up the phone, Qin Chu got up and lit a cigarette. He stood by the window and looked outside quietly. Hua Xiqian had done so many bad things and deserved to die a long time ago. He didn't dare to kill her before because he didn't want her to feel bad. After all, no matter how evil this demon was, he was still very good to her and had never done anything to her. Now that Mian had asked him to kill Hua Xiqian, Qin Chu didn't hesitate anymore. He decided to take the opportunity to get rid of him. As for Ian, since he already knew Mian's identity, he would definitely come to her. He would definitely come to her. Even if Hua Xiqian didn't come, he would still come. Besides, Mian was right. One Hua Xiqian was already a hidden danger. He also had to be careful of Jack. So, Qin Chu thought about it carefully for a few days and finally decided to kill Hua Xiqian tonight. In the suburban prison, the higher-ups have given the order to secretly execute the criminal tonight, the warden said to his subordinates in a low voice. Do it now? Yes, go. Do it secretly. Chapter 3362. 1 hour later, Gao Ran drove to South Hill Manor in a hurry. It was late at night. Everyone else was asleep. In the study, Qin Chu and Gao Ran looked grim. Chu, we should have done it earlier. I didn't expect this guy to. Gao Ran blamed himself. It's my fault. I'm sorry that so many of your men got involved. What are you talking about? We've been buddies for so many years. How could I blame you? I just didn't expect him to. If he waited for us to kill him, he would be a coward. But now he's behaving like this. Qin Chu was still calm. Although this matter made him a little unhappy, at least this was what he had expected. What should we do next? I've sent out a warrant for his arrest in the city. If he's found, he'll be killed without mercy. I've also sent out a warrant for his arrest and set up checkpoints. I don't think he can escape. While they were talking, Lu Yen knocked on the door and walked in. This is Mian's younger sister, Lu Yen, Qin Chu said. Lu Yen nodded at Gao Ran and glanced at Qin Chu. Brother-in-law, did you just send people out to kill Hua Xiqian? Yeah. Hua Xiqian broke out of prison tonight and killed a lot of guards. His methods were brutal, Qin Chu said. That's bad. My men are in the city too. They just sent me a message saying that your men are all dead. What? Qin Chu couldn't stay calm anymore. No way. Hua Xiqian is alone. He only has one gun and doesn't have many bullets. Chu's men are all elites. There are at least 15 of them. How can they all die? Gao Ran was puzzled. Hua Xiqian was good at fighting, but Qin Chu's men weren't idiots. It didn't make sense for them to kill so many people in such a short time and evade the police. He must have transformed into Jack. Hua Xiqian's second personality is very powerful. Once he unleashes it, he's really good at fighting, Qin Chu analyzed. That's too crazy. Gao Ran was also a bit panicked. Just one Hua Xiqian was enough to make everyone panic. Plus, there had been no movement before. Tonight, when they were about to kill him, something happened. What a coincidence. I suspect there's a mole in the prison. He must have known that we were going to kill him, and that's why he escaped. Maybe he transformed long ago and we just didn't know. Qin Chu calmed down and said slowly. Gao Ran was shocked. Then he's really good at acting. When Mian and I went to find him that day, we didn't see anything strange about him after he transformed. Even Mian didn't seem to notice it. He only said some things to make Mian feel guilty and sad. But Mian seemed to see through his intentions. She wasn't brainwashed or misled by him. She even came back and told me that we couldn't let him live. Yeah. Mian probably didn't see it either. Otherwise, she would have told me that day. What should we do now? Chu, shall we go and catch him ourselves? Gao Ran couldn't sit still. If Jack, Hua Xiqian's second personality, escaped, he would be a huge threat to the Hua family. With his personality, he would definitely come back for revenge. After all, he was a real bastard. Brother-in-law, leave it to me. Lu Yen suddenly interrupted. You? Gao Ran didn't seem to understand the girl's power. Yen. Qin Chu knew about her abilities, but Lu Yen was here on vacation to visit her sister. Qin Chu didn't want her to get involved. It's okay. If I want to kill someone, I'll definitely kill him. Then, Lu Yen turned to leave and turned on the signal on her watch. Team 1, give me Hua Xiqian's coordinates and escape route. Team 2, listen to my orders. Gao Ran was skeptical when he saw the girl's boldness in doing things. Chu, is Mion reliable? You're tuning in to the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.